All right, what's going on, everybody? Another day in paradise. So tonight, this evening, I want to talk about the whole Tyla situation, the Tyla controversy that people have brought to my attention. Of course, it's all over the place, right? All over social media. But shout out to you guys. Even DC is in the chat. Shout out to DC because I know you brought it to my attention as well. And also another gentleman, South African colored gentleman, brought it to my attention as well on one of my recent streams, like a couple of days ago. I saw your guys' comments and you guys referenced that charlatan defraud again is challenging Tyla and her identity, right? This is a constant theme. This is a very constant theme. And of course, we have to push back and be firm. Now, I'm an American mulatto, and Tyla is a South African colored. There's a lot of crossover. I feel like there's a lot of things that is translatable, if I can say that. We're both multiracial individuals. Now, we don't have the same exact configuration. Clearly, the culture, like I said, there's a lot of nuances with the country that we both respectfully represent. Me being American, Tyla being South African. There's a lot of differences that we see. But what we see is that there's a lot of identity policing going on, and primarily in America, in the West, United States. And there's a specific demographic that are former slaves that had their own identity stripped from them. But now today in 2024, they feel like they are kind of the gatekeepers of their quote unquote culture, like what they're trying to do to Drake, right? Outgroup him. But there's definitely a magnifying glass where they're trying to identity police every multiracial they see that doesn't identify with them. And we're going to go over various reasons why that is. So I just want to start out by saying shout out to you guys, DC and Renata Mulata. Shout out to you. And then we have another comment here. Charlatan defraud will have the nerve to critique her identity, but acts like a good old field Negro, right? For his Democrat massa. Oh, yeah. Like with Joe Biden, remember? This is the guy when Joe Biden told the whole world, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. You know who was interviewing him? Charlatan the fraud. The same exact, guy who's trying to question Tyla. And remember, I'm going to share again, but my last stream with the whole Kendrick and Drake situation, where Charlatan the fraud was jokingly, but he's being real, but he was joking because that's what they say when they're racism. They say with the black racists, they play off their racism and their light skin hate as a joke. And what Charlatan the fraud was saying was, oh, the biracials, y'all might want to stay home. You don't want to go to this Juneteenth concert because Kendrick, black ass Kendrick, par his words, Charlatan was saying, oh, he's going to play Juneteenth. Or he's going to play, Not Like Us, right, on Juneteenth. And he was joking, but he's being real. But, like I said, the racists, they say they're just joking. He was saying, oh, the biracials just stay home. So I'm sitting there like, really? Like, and then the whole Tyla situation right now pops up. I'm going to share it, the clip. And this is like, there's a level of consistency that you see here. So let's get right into that. Starting off, the comments. I'm going to share actually right now the comments that you guys brought to my attention. DC, who's in the chat, and then another gentleman who's actually a South African colored gentleman. So let's check this out right here. Let me zoom this up so you guys can thoroughly see this. I think this would be good. So Elroy Swartz, right, says, please do a video on how the Bantus in America are intensifying their efforts to bully Tyla into not only denying her identity, but disavowing her own people. Right? It's very deep with the pro-wax or Afrocentrics in America. And they're very successful, a lot of them, with the biracials in America, because a lot of biracials really, it's a very sad situation. I'm doing what I can as a kind of voice, spreading awareness. I'm not an activist. Okay. I'm not the nicest guy, not the prettiest guy, not the smartest guy. I'm just a guy with some balls. That's it. An internet connection, a microphone, period. So I'm doing my part, but I'm trying to basically spread awareness of the seriousness of forming an identity, a culture around that, and establishing cohesion with others who are similar like you. And but when you deal with a lot of these type of people like Charlatan the Fraud and his little pro whack kind of cronies, they literally want you to disown your culture, because he puts the word here, disown, and it's like, or disavow, yeah, her own people. Yeah, that's what a lot of them try to do with biracials, and they're successful, sadly, with a lot of these mulattoes in America. But they're trying this with this young woman, Tyla, from South Africa. She's from a whole nother country, whole nother culture. And I love the fact that she's proud of who she is. That's very inspirational for me and other people as well. So I'm definitely going to defend her honor. And let's continue on saying Charlamagne, charlatan, he's a charlatan, right? Recently tried to embarrass her into once again explaining her identity, though she is not clearly comfortable doing it considering the environment she finds herself in. Yeah, in America, there's so many nuances. And also, because she presents as someone with like African descent, and because the one drop rule, which is basically dissipating in America, but there's still a lot of remnants of it in society. It shows up all over the place. It's still kind of prominent. We can even look at as an example with like the Meghan Markle situation. This woman, Meghan Markle, is like 40% Nigerian, like 60% European, right? And you look at her, but they're just trying to like one drop her to be a black woman. That's not a black woman. Mariah Carey's not a black woman, see, but they still try to push this one drop rule bullshit on a lot of people, like The Rock or Derek Jeter or you name it, right? And so, but yeah, this environment, as Elroy Schwartz puts, this environment, especially because she's catering her music, it kind of caters to that American crowd, the African American audience in that crowd. And in their environments, when you're navigating in their environments, then you're going to see the hostility, because they only pull this crap with multiracials, whether you're an Afro Latino, Dominican, or you're a colored in South Africa, or if you're a mulatto, biracial in America, like what they're doing with Drake. They only pull this shit with the multiracials. Like they don't do this with anybody else, right? And we're going to get more into that, why that is later on. But let's continue on. She is clearly not comfortable doing it considering the environment is critical. Environment she finds herself in. We South Africans have already explained it over and over and over again. Exactly. And I know, man, I'm with you guys because I see it even on TikTok and YouTube, etc. You guys are explaining it over and over and over, but it's not clicking with them. So now you kind of can see how a lot of mulattoes or biracials, the position we are in. That's why I find this connection very valid, because I've been making these like mulatto biracial related content as like an American kind of centric viewpoint for the past 2 years, and it's very consistent. And I get the same kind of type of comments. I'm like, we already went over this stuff, not the South African stuff, but I mean, like when me as a mulatto American talking to a black American, the black Americans will give me these same damn comments. I'm like, I already addressed this stuff 2 years ago. But there's still these people who are still trying to weaponize the one drop rule, still trying to pull you into their crab bucket. And yeah, it's very tiring, but I can make content out of it. So here I am. And right, they already have at least an idea of what it means to be colored. So Charlatan and his Bantu cronies, right? The K Dot fans, the K dorks, right? All the Kendrick fans. Remember, that's what Charlatan the Fraud, Kendrick Lamar, there's the same people basically. They're all fake pro wax for a paycheck, and they got their mixed or white partners in the background, right? This is typical modus operandi for the hip hop pro whack crowd. And they already have at least an idea of what it means. Yeah, the Bantu cronies were clearly just trying to embarrass her. What it is, they're trying to humble her. Well, like you said, with the embarrasser, exactly. You have to tell them over and over again, she's colored. She's not an African American. Tyla, she's not a black. I think her father is like in East Indian or something like that. Her mother is black, South African. She identifies with the colored people. That's the culture she's acquainted with. But the Black Americans, the Bantus in America, are trying to basically, you said embarrass her. You're right. They're trying to humble her, and they're trying to haze her to get her to submit to serve the pro-wax. And their strategy is ineffective now, since everyone else has the microphone today. We're challenging it. But they will try. But, the rest of the Bantus are now celebrating and spewing out even more hate for our Tyla, right? I love the fact how you put our Tyla, meaning you defend her kind of honor. This is very admirable. She is basically alone in America, far away from her own people. Exactly. And this is why, like I said, I'm a mulatto American guy, but I see this stuff. And it's like, look, and I celebrate her. And she's a young woman, attractive woman, creative, artistic, has a ton of talent. And it's like, you're right. She's away. She doesn't have this the South African colored support, but even Black South Africans will support her, right? So she's going in the American, you said the environment's critical. In the American environment, these Bantus, these racists, they're going to be extremely hostile towards her because they want her to submit, as you put here, embarrass her. They want her to submit to their rule of law, which is the law of the jungle. They want her to submit to their authority, right? And she's standing firm in her identity, but they keep trying to press her, right? And let me finish this off. You say, in America, far away from our own people. Yeah, I see it too. I see it too. Exactly. No prominent voice in America is defending her. And these Black supremacists are ganging up on her. I really hate what these Bantus are doing to her. Exactly. This is what they, like I said, they can only do this to the multiracials, people who are adjacent to Blackness. So they're trying Drake, but even all their efforts with Drake is futile. I have a bunch of stupid ass K dot bums or K dorks, whatever, pro whack fans of Kendrick in my comment sections, my recent live stream, starting to get some buzz. A lot of the, pro whack Kendrick fans are putting comments and all this stuff. And it's hilarious. Like they don't understand that they're basically futile. Like their efforts are futile. Nobody cares. I mean, nobody cares. They've been rendered obsolete. All these other groups are competing in society. So they still want to hold on to the heels of mulattoes to try to use us as a tool, as a bridge to get closer to their white massa. And too many of us are waking up, especially, like I say, the younger generation. They see now they have another option. They don't have to serve and be subordinates. And very interesting what's going on. But yeah, you're right. People are attacking her, ganging up on her. And with Drake could just brush that shit off his shoulder. Like he deleted his videos on Instagram, the Kendrick disses. And you had, the Breakfast Schlubs and Charlatan the Fraud and all these clowns trying to act like it's a win for Kendrick, right? Oh, Drake put the videos on private. And I'm sitting there like, Drake, Champagne Poppy is his handle on Instagram. He has, last time I checked, last stream, he has 140 million followers, while Kendrick's got like 15 million. I mean, give me a fucking break. The major discrepancy of those numbers is drastic. Like Drake already won. Like the culture already decided before the whole rap battle began that Drake had to lose because he's biracial. They tried to humble him. That's what they do in this society. But there's too many biracials now who are developing this mulatto consciousness, who are coming into their own. And I already see it with these Z's and younger. Just the jig is up. The jig is up. There's too many of us now. Our numbers are growing, and a lot of us are getting cocky and we're pushing back. And the cat's out the bag now. The cat's out the bag. And let's see what we got. Yeah, so like you said there, you feel, but I love the fact how you're defending her, and that's what you should do. That's why I like, and I see like Creole people, like shout out to Creole Lady Marmalade. I did a recent video talking about her where it's like, and I see her defending another Creole person. I love that. That's what I really like about her, where she's standing firm in her Creole identity and culture, uplifting it, and she sees other people ganging up on a Creole person, and she's gonna jump out there and defend her. I love that. I love that. I just wish more mulattoes would do that same thing. But as with the Drake and Kendrick situation, there's a lot of mulattoes I love to see, man. And I shout them out. They're backing up Drake. right? Like I said, I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but you know what time it is. You know they're attacking this man because he's mulatto. And so I just wish I'd see more mulattoes instead of, being, busters and subordinates. They would, stand by the dude and give him some encouragement or shout him out and take his side essentially. Because a lot of these Bantus, they've already decided what their side is: pro-black, right? Pro-black, which means serving whites and hating on mixed people, or using mixed people as crash test dummies to get to whites. That's all it is. And so, like, eventually a lot of you, more you people are going to figure out. The more you listen to me, watch my videos, explore the history, etc., the commentary, you are going to figure out. It's inevitable. So shout out to DC. Like I said, I saw the comment here. It says Charlatan was being messy again, and people are mad at Tyla now. Yeah. And who are these people? What people? Who are the civilized white people? Them good white folks? Are they mad at Tyla, the singer, dancer, this young woman from South Africa, right? Are the civilized, decent white people of America? Are they mad at Tyla? Because the pro-wax will try to tell you, oh, they just gonna see you as a black, and they gonna be against you. That's what the pro-wax try to do, instill fear in you, right? So you'll take their side and be their little crash test dummy while they're doing secret deals with whites behind the scenes to kind of, put you underneath them, right? So you say again, and people are mad at Tyla now. What people? We all know. Do I have to go into further explanation? Who's mad at this young, beautiful, attractive, creative artist with a lot of ambition from South Africa, Tyla? Who's mad at her? How can you be mad at her? You look at her, you listen to her music. It's like, what's there to be mad about? The Bantus are mad because they can't psychologically put her under their spell and control her in this pro-whack, proud victim slave narrative. She has her own identity and she's proud to be colored. And see, a lot of biracials and mulattoes in America, they lack that level of awareness because of the cultural element significant, because they haven't really put in the work to establish developing a uniqueness, a culture, to where they're still under the kind of parameters of the pro-whack Bantu. So they're at their basically will. Again, mad and arguing because she identifies as colored. And the significant thing is the identity component. They need you to identify with them so they can trick you, manipulate you, and use you as a tool. And once they're done with you, they will dispose of you. So just by you, like even for me, just by using the word mulatto, it strikes fear in a lot of them. Because they're like, oh, that's a bad word. It means a mule. It's a horse. I don't give a fuck what the fuck it means. I'm not like you people. I'm not going to call myself the N word. I'm a real ninja. I'm from the hood. We the real ninjas. I'm not like you fucking people. I don't give a damn what you people think mulatto means, the history of the word. I don't give a damn. I'm not like you fucking people. So they understand that. So when you identify with something that's outside of their infringement, they feel like they're losing power. They're losing influence. And they are. They're right. So they have legitimacy to kind of feel the kind of element of fear, if I can say that. They just need to get it together on their own. They need to fix their own damn community and stop trying to pretend like the mulattoes, all of us out here, are going to help their ass. I'm good. Like, I already did enough for you. I realize you guys got to start paying me or giving me something now. The hell with this. I'm not doing no more caping for free. And, shout out to Tyla because, she's got people who support her. So shout out to her. They need to realize we are not forced to be black in other countries, unlike here. Yeah. The one drop rule doesn't work, especially in Africa. In Africa, they will one drop you into like whiteness, basically. Where I was called a white man when I was in Ghana. And they're half true because I'm half white. But that's not the full story, right? So I'd be like, well, yeah, I'm not really white like that. I mean, I'm mulatto, I'm mixed, but, come on. So they'll one drop your ass. When you're in a whole country where it's all black, any West African country, take your pick. And it's like, yeah, they're going to let you know they're going to one drop you into something else. You're not a part of their tribe. So that whole one drop rule crap, they push in America doesn't work the same in other countries. So let's check out this Tyler clip since I got you guys here waiting to see this. Let's check it out.
On these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person, what does that even mean?
You see how see how Charlatan Defraud tries to act stupid? He's sitting here saying, school me on the identity, teach me, talk about it. He's basically saying about your identity as a South African colored. What does that even mean? A simple Google search will let you know what that means. Like, I've already known about colored people several years ago, but like I said, I've never met a colored person in America. And yeah, so I've never come in contact with one physically in this country, in this nation, but I've always been well aware that that's their multiracial category in South Africa, is someone who is colored. Now, Tyla, I believe, is like African and Indian, you know, so and she has like I'm gonna share her tweet as well, and so she's multiracial. I think she has Irish heritage and East Indian and like African, so she's multiracial. So the category for multiracial people in South Africa is colored. Okay, and people could say whatever they want about the terminology. See, and that's the same thing they talk about with mulattoes. Oh, it's a bad word, it's a bad word. But the same people who tell you it's a bad word, they're calling themselves a nigga every day. The biggest hypocrites on the fucking planet, right? They want to be able to use words and police words and identities to give themselves a level of kind of cultural influence and gatekeeping. But when you do it, all of a sudden they want to whine it. Look, they can go play with someone else. I'm not really playing with them. Okay. I don't care. So I'll be the bad guy. That's fine. But I'm seeing this stuff and I'm like, yeah. And we got Charlatan Defraud doing what he does best, which is trolling and acting stupid, right? Acting stupid. He's like, oh, why don't you school me? Why don't you school me? Why don't you do a Google search? Okay.
Identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we, yeah, can we not, por favor?
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too.
And you can see here where even the title, the description here, it says Tyla's team shuts down question during interview. And you see how Tyla turned to her team. She's like, look, no more of these questions. No more of these questions about you people. Okay. Trying to humble her, or as the other gentleman, the colored gentleman said, embarrass her. Exactly. They're trying to put her on the spot and kind of haze her, embarrass her. And there's another gentleman, his name is Light Skin History on YouTube. He said it's like a ritual. They literally have a basically humbling ritual that they do with these light skins or multiracials where they want to humble you. It's like a ritual to try to force you into their basically pro-whack cult. Okay. And this is what they do. This is like a hazing process, embarrassing you, trying to humble you, gaslight you to accept a position of servitude amongst them if you deal with them. What the thing I find is funny is with the Charlatan, the fraud, when he's in front of his white master, like Joe Biden, he's not going to force these questions on his white master. This little good boy, Charlatan, the fraud, he knows his place. See, if there's like a Asian person there, a Chinese person, he's not going to force this on the Asian person. He's not going to force this on other Latinos. A lot of the Latinos will try to be like, oh yeah, we're cool, dog. You know, I got some African blood and I'm down with the hood, you know, because they'll sell their music and basically come up off these slaves, you know. They've been doing that in hip hop. But that's the thing, like they only usually try this with the multiracials, I find, where they're trying to humble you and haze you and punk you. And they're trying this with this young woman, Tyla. And I'm sitting there like, bro, just go do a Google search. You can find out what a colored person is.
Shut up, man. I like when they talk from the back and say we can't. I like that. I like the character. That's good. That's even better. All right, Tyler.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
No.
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 Good?
I'm good. Why you guys?
Oh, we got some more to put up
Because the
next time.
label-
I'm not messing with you.
That's it. Very simple and nuanced, but people wanted me to mention that. Someone on TikTok actually tagged me in that video, in the video. And of course, I saw your guys' comments. You were talking about it. I'm like, yeah, this is very typical. Now, Charlatan Defraud is their pro-whack spokesperson. He brings the culture and represents the culture, and he establishes this kind of authenticity for them, right? Remember, he was all down with DMX when DMX was talking ish on Drake. Remember that clip I shared with you guys? Talking about DMX is like, I don't like Drake's face. I don't like nothing about Drake. And then Charlatan Defraud was sitting there laughing and grinning. Of course, he's a court gesture for the pro wax. And I shared this the other day, this clip here with Charlatan, not Charlamagne, people. I'm going to reprogram you guys with language to speak accurately. Charlatan, right? I love it because, with this whole thing with colloquialisms, like, I went on another page and told them, like, I've normalized people using the word mulatto. Where a couple years ago, people thought it's a bad word. Don't say it. There's stigma. Just call me multiracial. I had some lady who put a comment like there. It's like, whatever. Eventually, you will learn. You listen to me or other people who are kind of astute. So I've loved how things that I'm speaking into existence, sharing with you guys, a lot of you guys, it's clicking. You understand. And I see your guys' comments and I love it. But yeah, check this out. I shared this the other day, right? He's going to he always does this crap. He only pulls this crap with the multiracials. So the mulattoes in North America, like Drake, or with South African coloreds like Tyla. He's going to try to pull this black card and identity police. And Tyla's good. Tyla's secured because she has an established culture and a racial classification, which we do have in America. It's coming back. We need a more specific kind of, we need a high level of specificity is what I'm pushing for, hence mulatto. But in South Africa, colored, it's, they have their own category. Let's check this out.
It's probably sold out by now.
Listen, I
That shit takes on sell them all, right?
the pre-sale tickets are already on sale.
They're gonna be
today,
sold out in 2
but
minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I said I can't fly. Wow, like I can't fly no more. I'm gonna leave the stomach home and I'm gonna go. Like I really would love to go.
I would love to go too. I got to be in LA on the 14th for a book signing, but I would fly back out there for that Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Black ass Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I want to add emphasis on that this guy, the Charlatan Defraud, is a hardcore black racist. You remember they tried to tell you race is just a social construct. There's no such thing as race. Why is this guy's first, he's adding emphasis on Kendrick being black ass Kendrick Lamar. And he's looking at his buddy DJ Envy, who's not black, right? Because you see this guy's like Kendrick Lamar, he's black. He's married to his mixed queen. Very typical. They're so proud to be black. They want to dilute themselves because they want to feel more kind of normal with the rest of, civilized society, essentially. Not fooling anybody, not fooling me. Okay. When I hear this type of anti-mulatto talk, I'm going to challenge it. Like this guy, Charlatan Defraud. Since nobody else out here is questioning, critiquing, or challenging this fool, they're trying to play games. Oh, not like us. It's because Drake is from the culture. Drake's from Canada. Why does this buffoon, Charlatan Defraud, tell biracials, oh, you better stay home? You better just stay home because, it's Juneteenth and black ass Kendrick's going to sing Not Like Us. So all you see, a lot of you biracials, man, a lot of you mulattoes, I understand now you haven't got your wake up call yet. So when they find a guy like me, they're super like, oh my God, this guy, he hurt my feelings, what am I going to do? Well, you can go back to doing what you do, but I already know, like, eventually you're going to try to find some answers. You're going to do some research. You're going to feel outgrouped, excluded. Okay, you're going to look for some answers. You're going to take your ass to YouTube and type in mulatto. You're going to find me, and of course, you're going to find these solutions, right?
Yes.
On Juneteenth, doing Not Like Us.
Yes.
Can you imagine Kendrick saying to a crowd of black people, y'all can't say nigga no more? I don't know, man. Biracials, y'all might want to stay home for that one, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's Juneteenth. That's going to be blackity black in there. You hear me?
It gonna be blackity black. You see how racist this black is? Right? But I thought race is a social construct. I guarantee you, you could find a tape and audio of this same clown on his show talking to some liberal puppet, right? Talking about race is a social construct. There's no such thing as race. Why is this clown sitting there talking about, oh, it's going to be all black people, black ass Kendrick, blackity black, black on Juneteenth? And you biracials, you ain't black like us. You not like us. So just stay home. I mean, you cannot make this shit up. I'm just reporting the news. You guys want to kind of hate on the messenger. You don't like my delivery. You know, I don't give a fuck what you like. Okay. Either you listen, you like it, or you don't, period. I'm open to people kind of critiquing it if they feel like it's not valid, but all I really see is stupid little comments that people make. Like, I don't care, man. You guys, like, you're not adding any substance. You're asking questions, and you're asking questions to like pontificate on more questions. I don't care. You guys have already been, you're being exposed for your blatant anti-mulatto racism. And then you guys like want to act stupid and play dumb. No one's playing with you. I'm not playing with you. A lot of these biracials, yeah, they're punks, they're cowards. They'll play with you. I'm not playing with you. Okay. Now, I found a lady here I'm going to share right now on TikTok, and she's actually defending Tyla. This is a black woman. So shout out to her. Let's check this out.
Happening here, and multiple things can be true at the same time. Number one, I do agree it's not Tyla specifically. I feel like a lot of people are projecting a lot of feelings and misunderstanding onto her. Some people feel very triggered when someone who they receive as outwardly black because of their phenotype. Some people feel triggered that those people will say, no, I'm not black.
Right. People feel triggered or they're offended. It kind of hurts their ego, their soul, where they can kind of look at you and say, oh, you're kind of black adjacent. You look like, because they're pushing this one drop rule. They're like, oh, you kind of look like you're black a little bit. You kind of look black, like a Tyla or something. But when Tyla says, oh, I don't identify with you people. You're not my people. I don't know. You know, if you act normal, you act civilized. Okay, we're cool. But if you pull this proud, you know, slavery, you hate yourself, so you want to claim to be an Indian, you're pro-whack, and you want to use savagery to intimidate people. I'm like, look, I don't identify with that culture. I'm sorry. There's other people who will. You can go talk to them, the Nipsey Hussle fans, etc. But I'm not, that's not what I'm doing over here. But there's people who do get offended by that. Even with Tyla, who's very much more pleasant than me, right? She's got to make her money. I get it. Entertainer. So she's just, you know, there's still people. It doesn't matter. The whole point is what I'm making with this and saying it like that is because it doesn't matter your tone of voice or your delivery. You could be a guy like me who's a mean guy, you know, biracial bad boy, or you could be a soft butterfly, delicate flower like Tyla, and you still stand firm in your identity. You're still going to get hate, guys. Like, you know, these are two opposite sides of the spectrum. A guy like me blabbing my mouth on YouTube, social media, you know, is very assertive versus a Tyla who's singing and dancing. Like, it doesn't matter your delivery. People are still going to hate you. And what it is because they resent the fact that you won't let them walk over you, right? This is what they're upset about. They're upset that you won't let them, you know, use you as a punching bag. You won't let them punk you. And we see that with a lot of like the nature of a lot of like white supremacists, where there's a lot of in the white supremacy, a lot of mindset that they have. White nationalists is they're mad and like disgusted by you if you won't let them kind of punk you in society. And a lot of these black supremacists, these black nationalists, they basically mirror and take on the same sentiments and behaviors as their white supremacist masters. But there's no one else that will put up with their ass. So they turn to the multiracials and mulattoes to try to punk us and humble us, right? To make themselves feel better. And the identity component is very significant. That's like that's the foundation, right?
I am black and this or the other. Because of the one drop rule in America, a lot of people are mentally colonized into thinking that one drop of black blood makes you black, and that is not the case.
So she's educated. I can tell by her speech, her presentation, she's articulate, right? And she understands, like she said, like a lot of people are kind of mentally colonized. They still uphold this one drop rule and don't understand the one drop rule was essentially outlawed in 1967 with the Loving versus Virginia. We just had Loving's Day the other day, was it June 12th? And that was 1967. but still people still try to hold on to this old archaic rule. And what they'll try to do is they'll try to use fear-mongering tactics to scare multiracials, be like, well, the police gonna pull you over, then white folks gonna let you know, and all this stuff. It's like, well, I don't give a damn. Okay. I'm letting your black butt know right now we're not the same. Okay. So I mean, I'm not the most pleasant guy. I get that, you know, and I get a lot of hate because of that, and I get it. But even like I'm saying, even if you're like Tyla and you're very pleasant, they're still gonna like look at you as a target to hate on you and shit. And I'm sitting there like, man, where is her reinforcements? We got the South African coloreds, they're defending her. You know, they love her. And I love that. I love the fact that South African coloreds support Tyla. I love that. And those of you guys and gals who are listening to me, we're gonna catch the playback and all that stuff. I love the fact I see you guys. I met a lot of you over on TikTok and stuff, and I love the fact that you guys defend her. I love that, and I just wish that I would see more higher level of cohesion with a lot of mulattoes here in America. Because I've seen some biracials, man, who are trying to throw Drake under the bus and shit. You got a guy like they're on the Breakfast Clubs, DJ Envy. I don't know what the hell he is. He's like Puerto Rican or black, or he's mixed. I don't know. Clearly he's mixed. I don't know what the hell he is. But he's sitting there with Charlatan the Fraud, right? Pushing all this anti-mixed, pro-black racism. And he doesn't like challenge this guy because they're operating in that culture. So they have to adhere to their terms. My goal is to let mulattoes know, establish your own situation, develop cohesion, spread awareness, develop your own culture, identity formation, have your own situation to where you're not underneath them. Okay. They need to consult with you. They need to offer you something because they benefit from you more than you benefit from them. They're basically entertaining us at this point, like dancing and singing songs. They're not providing you security. They're attacking you. I mean, that's why the golden sphere, it's hilarious. All these people who grew up around black people from the black hood and community, they try to use that as a badge of honor to flex like some street cred or some shit. All these golden sphere characters, like, and they promoted a petition for protection. I'm like, protection from who? Not white people, not the civilized good white folks. They're not attacking you. No, they want protection from darker skinned blacks. The same people whose butt they're kissing every damn day, like they grew up with. So they're stuck in kind of a quagmire or a quandary, I can say, that I'm trying to let these mulattoes know you don't have to be stuck in that situation. You got to develop your own situation, okay? Let's be real. Let me finish this off.
There are people who just don't like Tyla and they're looking for any reason not to like her. But you sound like a hater if you say, oh, I just don't like her, and you don't have a reason. So this gives them the reason to say they don't like her. 2, the classification of the word, what it even means to be colored as a group. Yes, that classification was a result of apartheid. However, colored people existed before apartheid. And that's what people don't seem to be.
Yeah, and people do understand it, but they're purposely ignorant on purpose. That's the key thing this lady has to understand. I think she knows it too. People are very aggressive, hostile, and they're purposely ignorant. And not to the fact that colored people, they have an identity, a culture, they've existed before apartheid, and they're still here after apartheid, and they're still going to be rocking and rolling. They're not going anywhere. And Tyla, they look at her as a representative on the global stage and are proud of her. And I love that for them. That's why I'm supporting them. I'm like, look, I see a connection here with what I'm doing here in the United States and the people I'm connecting with. And I'm seeing this situation. I'm like, look, there's a lot that we can relate with because we face a lot of the same type of racism and harassment, hostility, and humbling tactics that come our way. Yeah.
Be understanding because of the history of South Africa. In South Africa, it wasn't only Bantu, Zulu, Xhosa, and other Black South African people who were enslaved in South Africa. They also imported slaves from Malaysia, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, Madagascar, India, Mozambique.
Yeah, so this woman's clearly like done her research, and it's not even extensive research. You just do Google and just look it up and realize, okay, they have basically a collection of other ethnic groups and racial groups in South Africa, from India And like she said, Mozambique and South Asia, East Asia, the Chinese, etc., different African tribes. And, you know, so there's a collection of people in that culture, and there was a level of amalgamation that basically created their multiracial group known as colored. And they've existed for so long, they've allowed, how should I put this? They've been able to basically develop their own unique culture around that, around taking the basically influences of different parts of their heritage and developing something unique that caters to them. And yeah, like I said, I've met plenty South Africans. I think at least maybe 6 or 7. I can count maybe on one or two hands the South Africans I've met. An Indian, an East Indian, who was not a mixed person or multiracial. She was East Indian. And yeah, she was from South Africa. I remember one year, like a while back, she did help me do my taxes, but she was originally from South Africa. And she helped me here in America do my taxes. And I met a few white South Africans and a couple black South Africans. But yeah, like I said, I've never met a colored South African. I want to, and that's my goal this next upcoming year, is to go over there, travel there, and make these connections. So that's speaking that into the universe. That's definitely my goal, especially covering this material, talking about this stuff. It's opening up basically opportunities. So let's continue on with this.
So you have these enslaved groups of people and they are mixing. And then also we know what happens in slavery, what the masters are doing to the enslaved people. So as a group from this, a different racial and ethnic group and cultural group emerges. That group becomes what is known as colored people, but they existed before the classification of color that came with apartheid. So yes, because of the history and the legacy of apartheid, the word colored in South Africa, it can be seen as anti-Black. However, the fact that these people exist as colored people, there's nothing anti-Black about that. And wanting to be regarded as what they are, that's not distancing themselves from their Blackness or being ashamed of it. They are literally multiracial people. What I think it honestly comes down to is a lot of Americans' refusal to accept or inability to understand what's going on.
Now, let's be 100% perfectly clear. She says a lot of Americans' refusal. She needs to put the word African she needs to put the word African before American, or put Black before American. Am I right or am I wrong? Because she said a lot of Americans. It's not Anglo Americans. It's not white Americans. It's not Latino Americans. I'm guessing, I don't know this woman's like handle on TikTok, but most of her followers are going to be Black. I'm guessing, but she's very articulate. She did her homework. Shout out to her. Like I said, there's not that much homework or research that needs to be done. You can just clearly go on YouTube and Google whatever and do some research, or, type in South African coloreds. You can find videos, explanations, data, and you can acquire. I mean, you're not going to get the full picture clearly. Like I said, you have to actually go there and live amongst these people or deal with them, and to really get a kind of a good glimpse and understanding, make some friends, right? Acquaintances. Then you'll kind of have a better understanding. But it's not that hard to do research on any ethnic group in America, because especially for South African coloreds, because like I pointed out when I did the stream initially with Tyla, is that they have, because they're a racial classification, I'm going to get into like a job application that a Black South African shared, because a lot of Black South Africans are defending Tyla. You see, it's the Black Americans who have an issue with her. Not all, because this woman, based off her accent, she's Black American, but she's educating her audience, which is probably mostly Black American, but she has a lot of probably ignorant pro-Black people that listen to her. So, and they're against the fact that people who might be slightly Black or half Black or whatever, but they don't identify with the African dysphoria, right? And yeah. There's a lot. My mind's kind of racing because there's so many thoughts, and I'm processing so much, but then I got to kind of spit it out to you guys to explain. It's, sometimes it can kind of be a little tricky because I'm thinking more with the capability for me to kind of speak it out, right? So there's a lot of thoughts that I'm thinking about. It's like, oh, I want to say that, but it kind of slips my mind because, I'm just one guy doing this. Let's go.
on in countries and cultures outside of their own. Overall, I'm just glad Tyla is no longer seeming like she is going to talk about it. She is an entertainer, not an educator. And while there are some entertainers who do take it upon themselves to become activists and educate their fans, this is a topic people seem very committed to missing the point. And I don't think Tyla.
And that's the key thing. She's basically finished, but she said this is a topic, this multiracial discussion or identity, where people are committed to being ignorant. When she's going to generalize and broadly say Americans are people, because she doesn't want to throw her own audience, her own people under the bus. But it's Black Americans, right? I'll be blunt. I'll be the bad guy, call a spade, right? And she's a nice lady. Like I said, she's articulate. She's kind of done some research, and she's not going to throw her own audience, right? Her own fans or her own people, whatever, under the bus. But she knows as much as I know. She's talking about Americans don't understand. It's Black Americans. And she's saying people are willing, or basically they're committed. She said committed to being ignorant or ill-informed. It's Black Americans, right? They're committed. I'm not saying all, but a lot of them, the main detractors, the haters, they're committed to not understanding it because they know the importance. They want this woman or any multiracial. They want to be able to weaponize the one drop rule against you, to use you as their pawn, as their punching bag, to make themselves feel better in this society. That's really what it comes down to. So Tyla is just basically a proxy, right? Because it is bigger than Tyla. Like, she's just a famous, she got a Grammy, I think. Yeah, she's a big star. I know. And I love the fact that South Africans, coloreds, defend her and they're proud of her. Even the Black South Africans there defend her because she's like a national kind of treasure at this point. They have a UFC champion. He's a white guy, Derek Duplessis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's a white South African and he's a champion. I know a lot of Black people like him that are from South Africa because that's nationalism. And a lot of times nationalism basically, you know, how do I want to say this? It can overextend over racial boundaries where, like a guy like a Michael Jordan, for instance, I'm pretty sure you'll have people who are Americans who are like Mexican or whites. Maybe they don't like Black people, but they see a Michael Jordan. They're like, okay, I like him. He represents America. He's our athlete. He's our star. So that's kind of how it is in a lot of other countries that are more so racially diverse, like in South Africa, where, yeah, they do have they have a lot of racial problems, etc., different racial groups. But at the national level, when they're competing with other groups around the world, they put those differences aside and they basically, the banner they have is their flag, their national flag. Like you see Tyla with, I shared the image in the intro with the South African flag. That's like the banner that all these other ethnic or culture or racial groups can basically unite under that national identity. So I want to say that, yeah, she said people are committed to being ignorant, and we know which people it is, but it's like she doesn't want to say it because that's her audience, right? But I've purposely positioned myself in social media. I'm not trying to be a big star in grift or any of this crap. I'm trying to give the people who feel like they're voiceless, I'm giving them a voice, period. Now I'm a mulatto American, but I see what's going on with Tyla and some South African coloreds, and I can see that, okay, a lot of us, we can relate to that because the same strategies and tactics and, you know, the things that are happening to them, they're very similar to what people are doing to us over here as far as discrimination, etc.
Needs to waste her energy anymore trying to explain it to people who are committed to misunderstanding her.
Yeah, because she's just not going to answer the questions like I shared with you guys with the whole charlatan defraud interview. And Tyla was basically like, look, I'm not even going to respond to that question. She looked at her person, her like manager, whatever that was in the background, and they told her, don't even comment, don't even respond. Yeah, because people and charlatan the fraud, he represents the pro-wax, right, in the African American culture. And they're all liberal shills, okay? And they're committed to being ignorant because they want multiracials as a subordinate class that they can punk, and they want to use multiracials for a numerical advantage. They are, basically obsessed with keeping you as a subordinate. This is why it's a big topic in their community when it's the Drake, Not Like Us, Kendrick, or this Tyler situation. And there's going to be a new one that pops up within the next week or 2 weeks, whatever. This is a very consistent situation. People don't understand that. Like a Drake is just proxy. Tyler is just proxy. It doesn't matter. Like they want to use you, okay, so they can get closer to their white massa. Once you identify with something that's independent from their infringement, they look at you as an issue. So they are going to take it upon themselves to grill you, harass you. You're going to see their level of hostility. This is what it is. So, and like I already said, they only do that to multiracials, right? And the thing is, they can enjoy their white master's music without pressuring the whites to identify with the blacks. It's the hypocrisy. They can enjoy Latin music and salsa, or they can enjoy Asian culture without trying to force Asians to identify with the blacks. Like they can enjoy other group of people's cultures and foods, right? All these blacks, like Charlatan, he's in New York or whatever. He's eating Chinese takeout, Chinese food. They go to all the Thai restaurants. They go to the Mexican restaurants. They love the Latin culture, Asian culture. See, they can partake in all these other people's cultures and give them all their money. That's why they're broke and poor, right? But they're not trying to force those people to identify with their struggle from the hood. Drake is from Canada. He didn't struggle with the slaves in the hood. He not like us, right? They only play that game with you mulattoes and multiracials like Tyla because they need to use you. They want to use you as a punching bag to make themselves feel better. They don't play that game with these other groups. I'm telling you. They don't play that with Chinese. They don't play that with East Indians, these other cultures. No, they don't push this crap trying to force these people to identify with their culture. They will do business with them. They'll give Asians all their money. They'll do business with the Chinese person, do business with all these other groups. They'll take their car to maybe some Arabic, mechanic to fix. They'll give them money. It's a fair exchange. They'll be all nice. They only act uppity and have an issue when it's the mulatto or multiracial person that doesn't identify with their proud victim culture. And this is what you see with Tyler. I don't know how else to put it, guys. Like I said, I'm not South African colored, but I definitely sympathize with the situation. So let me see. Okay, let me share this. We got here basically a application. We got an application here. Let me pull this up. I think this is the right one. Let me see 1 second, guys. Shout out to all you guys in the chat. Respect to you. Respect to the chat. I see you guys up in the chat. You guys like the content? Hit the like button. Let me give you a little reminder to hit that like button. Share the stream. Share the stream. You guys like the content? Share the stream. That's how we're going to get this thing popping, right? I got to talk like I'm a pro whack, right? Get the thing popping so I can get my street cred up. So I don't get that Drake treatment. I got to try extra hard to be down with the community. So they finna accept me into the hood, the struggle, so they can get they mixed quain, right? And try to talk shit on all the people who don't identify. So this is a statement from Tyla, right? On X, which is Twitter. They call X now, right? June 13th, which is a few days ago. Says, yo, guys, this is a post from Tyla, guys, okay? Never denied my blackness. I don't know where that came from. Right. By her identifying as colored, because we understand that with the multiracial, when you say you're colored, you're acknowledging the fact that you're partially African, because that is it's kind of like one drop rule essentially in South Africa, right? Because if someone is white and Indian, are they colored? I don't know. You guys tell me, because people in America, there's plenty of people, like I've already pointed out, like that are like Mexican which is largely mestizo, Spanish and indigenous, and like white, Caucasian American. And they have, kids, but they're technically, yeah, you could say they're biracial or mixed, but they look more so phenotypically presenting as white. So it's like they're not really like they could just basically pass as white. They're just white, kind of, right? They'll be like, "Oh, my mom's Mexican heritage." Right? Their mom's brown skin, or vice versa. Their dad's brown skin, whatever, Mexican, but their mom or their other partner or their other parents white. So therefore, the child offspring will be mostly just white. So they're kind of passing. You guys get it? Like, so they're not the same as someone who is like. That's why I say mulatto, because it's ultra specific versus like a hapa who's half Asian, half Caucasian, or et cetera, et cetera. When they use broad terms, like with even multiracial, et cetera, or mixed, very broad terms, you say mulatto, you're ultra specific, European, African. And by me saying mulatto, I'm acknowledging the fact that I'm partially African. I've never ran away from it, guys. You guys see me all the time on camera, my face. I got a dedicated piece of art that I have in my room, which is of an African woman that I got in Ghana, bought it from an African man that I'm very proud of. It's my most, what do I want to say? Like my most prized piece of art I have. I have several art pieces. I'm a fan of art, but that specific one, as soon as the guy showed it to me, I was like, oh, I want to buy it. But of course, you can bargain, right, for stuff there. I like that part of the culture. Some people could be a little feisty and pushy with selling because that's their economy is not the same as America, right? They're kind of limited, so they got to make the sale. But I literally gave the shirt off my back, right, to this man, this Ghanaian guy. I literally took out the Iron Man shirt. I gave the shirt off my back, gave it to him, and I think I had some like toothpaste in my kind of luggage bag. I gave to him some socks, and of course, I gave him some money, his local currency. Like I just basically negotiated. I was like, I want that piece of art. As soon as I saw it, this African woman, I was like, I want that. Okay, so how much? And he's like, oh, he gave me a price. I was like, yeah, let's talk about it. Of course, because the discrepancy or the exchange rate to me was nothing. Like I could have just paid whatever he asked, but I'm still doing business. I'll just talk to the guy. Like I want to make it fair. I want you to be happy. I'll be happy. Let's come to an agreement. I like that business kind of transaction. And so yeah, I literally gave the man the shirt off my back and some other stuff, socks and toothpaste and some money. It's like, oh, I want that piece of art. And I got that piece of art in my room and I'm proud of it. And it's a symbol of my pride in my African heritage. So when I say mulatto, I'm basically acknowledging the fact that I'm the balance, the blend of European and African, right? And this is similar when we see with Tyla when she says she's colored. She's acknowledging the fact that she's African. See, I think everyone around the planet understands this, except for the racist, Afrocentric pro-blacks in America, aka the former slaves. Okay, their anti-mulatto and anti-biracial racism is so deep where they embrace the one drop rule. They can't fathom that, right? And we can continue on with Tyla's tweet, and she puts here, I'm mixed with Black, Zulu, Irish, Mauritanian / Indian, and colored, right? The thing I want to point out here, she doesn't uppercase, but with Irish, she doesn't uppercase either. Now, black is just an adjective. It's just a color. It's not a culture. It's descriptor. Because what the FBAs are doing, the FBAs with foundational Black Americans, they're trying to basically gatekeep the culture, that it's Black American culture, African American culture, which is distinctively different from like a Zulu or Ghanaian or other, various kind of African cultures, right? But the black is just means your skin color, right? It's funny because you got people that are like my complexion or lighter or brown or beige, whatever you want to call it, that are calling themselves black. You look at these, like Alicia Keys, I'm not going to pick on her, but I'm saying you look at her, it's like, she's like, I'm black. No, you're not, lady. Okay. Zendaya is going to say she's a black. No, you're not. And I'm not just ladies. Okay. What are the other guys who want to say this shit? They're black. Like even a Drake. I mean, come on. You're not a black. We're looking at you. We can see, so they use that adjective black to basically kind of describe. She's mixed with, Zulu, Irish, Mauritanian, Indian. So she's acknowledging the fact that she's has African descent. There's no denying it. And I'm saying this because mulattoes are the same way. When we say mulatto, we're acknowledging that, yeah, we're actually mixed with African. That's part of our genetic and cultural heritage, our makeup. That's what makes us us. We're unique. And she says, and the pronunciation, I apologize, it's Sotha. I would be classified as a colored woman. In other places, I would be classified as a black woman. Yeah, if you're maybe in places in Europe where it's majority Caucasian or United States, there's people who would say you would be a black woman, right? Race is classified differently in different parts of the world. Exactly. Because there's places in America where people would say you're just a black. I mean, more so now today, everyone knows I'm mixed. But there was a time where I kind of fell into that and believed that everybody just sees me as a black, which is not the truth. Like I started to notice this back in like 2015, 2016. So almost 10 years ago. And I'm from California, but I traveled to different areas in the state of California, but other states like Oregon, which is north of California, and Nevada and other places where I was in areas where it's all white people. I remember specifically in Oregon where the lady looked at me. I was talking to this lady and she's like, "Oh, you're mulatto, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Yeah." Because I already knew what the word I meant. I understood what the word meant. At that time, I wasn't in the same consciousness that I am now, where I wasn't walking around calling myself a mulatto. But this blonde haired, blue eyed Aryan woman, right, in Oregon, like looked at me and acknowledged me saying, "Oh, you're a mulatto," right? So I understood that people now today know the difference. They don't all like just see me as just a black in this country, this nation of United States. You know, a lot of your Afrocentric pro blacks will lie to you and try to trick you and fool you into thinking like they're so well traveled, like they all got passports, right? Your passport Pookie just going to fucking the DR to get some mixed chicks, right? Like they're so well traveled. They're known for developing jets and airplanes and traveling the world. Oh yeah, like they're gonna tell you how the world's gonna view you as. If you listen to these pro whacks, okay. Like I feel sorry for the mulattoes who deal with them. If they're not dancing for you or entertaining you, I feel sorry for you. They're gonna tell you the world's just gonna see you as a black, right? And I go to Ghana and all the blacks, they're not all of them, but a lot of them, majority, that's their culture. What I love about them is they'll look at you and be like, "You're not one of us. You're from America, or whatever. You're a white man. You're from America." It's like, you're damn right. You're half true, half white, but not black, right? So you got to travel and then you know what's up, okay? Don't let these, cronies and, Afrocentrics try to fool you. Puts here, I don't expect to be identified as colored outside of Sotha. Is that South Africa? I apologize, guys. I'm thinking right now, yeah, South and an A. I think that's just how a lot of people have maybe heard how they type it in. So apologize about that for my misunderstanding. So South Africa, yeah. By anyone not comfortable doing so because I understand the weight of that word outside of South Africa. Yeah, so it could be SA or South A. Yeah, I get it. But to close this conversation, I'm both colored in South Africa and a black woman, right? And I love how she capitalizes colored, the culture, it's undercase for black, right? So people will have an issue with that, but I love the fact that she's acknowledging she's a colored woman. But by acknowledging saying she's colored, she's acknowledging that she's partially African and she's never like hid away from it or ran from it. That's part of who she is. As a woman for the culture, it's an not or with that being said, Asamabe, I don't know. I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, she very like this PR kind of you know, disclaimer is very well, you know, wrote. I like it. Yeah, and she's acknowledging by the fact that she's saying she's colored, that she's acknowledging the fact that she's partially African, as I've already explained with mulattoes, right? Did Drake ever run away from his blackness? Drake ever say the problem with Drake, as the Angry Man pointed out, is he tried too hard to be cool with savages who hate him for his existence. That's his issue. But the thing is he's making a lot of money. So he's already good. He's benefited and profited off it. And that's why they hate him. They hate the fact that he got the best end of the deal. because they wanted to use him as their biracial mule to benefit themselves to get closer to their white massa, like Kendrick Lamar. He's like, oh, he was congratulating Drake 10 years ago. Oh, Drake helped me get a whole new audience, a whole new demographic of white kids, right? Suburban college white kids, right? They want to be able to use you to benefit off of you to get to their white massa. But when you flip it on them and you can use them to benefit yourself and your street cred and your pocketbook, they have an issue with it. I laugh. I love this shit. I see this stuff. I'm like, this is hilarious. Like, this imbalance cannot continue to exist in the universe. There's going to be a correction. It's happening right now. These younger people, it's already happening right now. There's going to be a correction because this imbalance cannot continue to exist where there's not reciprocated, where you want to benefit from us, but we're not supposed to benefit from you. Oh, because you're a victim doing side deals with your white massa. Yeah, whatever. So we have right here application. This was a black South African woman who was sticking up for Tyla because there's a lot of them are a lot of, like I said, a lot of national pride. They see people attacking Tyla for being proud to be colored. And there's a lot of black women in South Africa who are defending Tyla, saying, no, she's colored over here. I don't know what the hell you Americans are doing. You Americans think you're running shit like this was 1960 or something. But other countries have their own sovereignty as well. Okay. And they're practicing it. So someone shared this. I saw on X, this application for employment. This is like a South African application. I don't know. It doesn't have a company, just generic, basically. You can look here. It says personal information, surname and full names, identity number or passport number, date of birth. And the next question, number 3, it says here is race. And what do you see? Okay, it might be too large. Oh, I think this is good. Number 3, it says race. It has African first, white, it has colored, and it has Indian, and I think the other one is other. So first, number 3, it talks, or gender is 3 as well, but it talks about race. After date of birth, your identity, your government kind of information, right? Passport, African, white, colored. They have their own category, which they proudly check. Now, we are seeing that in the United States, but they have the multiracial, which would be equivalent to the colored category, essentially. And it's ever so growing. I mean, I see it everywhere with job applications and like other surveys, but it's a complicated situation because the United States, there's a lot of laws, right? You have the federal laws, but then you have state laws, and states kind of dictate things. They have like sovereign states, essentially. They still abide by the federal mandates, but in a way, a lot of states with the courts, they can push back against what the federal government kind of mandates. I'm not a political science major. Okay, I've took a couple courses in college, but this is a complex nation. Is a complex nation. I'm here to talk about the mulatto stuff, but what I'll say is with legally, it depends on where you are in this country, where you'll see the multiracial category or biracial or 2 or more races being honored. We can check that, but not every place you go to honors that. They'll still try to like one drop you. So it's significant, and it's based off what state you're located in. Gender is the next after race, and then do you have a disability? Are you South African citizen? So it's just a generic kind of like employment application, right? Application for employment. That because there are people who are trying to deny this whole South African colored situation that, oh, it was developed and made up for apartheid. And, Tyla is just, trying to push all this, anti-blackness. So I didn't look into all the comments. There's too many comments to look into, guys. I'm an hour deep into this, and I'm going to get to your guys' comments in the chat. I will drop the link if anyone wants to jump up and hop up here. But I'm going to get to a couple more comments that I did see, because there was one specific comment that I did see someone put that basically caught my attention. So let's check this out. So under Tyla's post, you guys can see this here. Okay, yeah. And he added Tyla. That's her handle, right, on X. And so I just shared with you guys Tyla's official statement about the whole ordeal with Charlamagne the fraud and some other pro-wax trying to pressure her to identify as black, right? And like I said, the same people who say, well, colored's racist, right? Or mulatto is racist. These are the same people who are calling themselves the N-word in their little rap songs, right? So like they don't have credibility, or they're not in a position to say anything. They just need to just shut up and listen, basically. And but they look at a lot of you as their subordinates. Are like, well, what the hell are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? The white folks don't like you. I don't give a damn what the whites like. I'm telling your black ass, I'm mulatto. I'm not like you. Like Kendrick said, okay, deal with it. Go cry somewhere else. And the more of you that do that, I feel like you're gonna get better results. You're gonna establish parameters, and things will work more in your favor. I feel like because there's too much ambiguity and there's too much, confusion going on. You're not letting people know what it is. And this is why people are able to kind of weaponize the one drop rule against you, to punk you and coerce you into being a subordinate. So I saw this comment here, Pretty Flacco. Now it's funny, he's LGBT, okay? But I saw he had like the Palestinian flag on his bio, okay? And you look at him, right? Bantu features and LGBT, it's just whatever, like yeah, go to Palestine and act all uppity. Let's see how it works out. But I saw this comment and I had to share it with you guys, because I'm like, okay, this is part of the material I share. So it says here, what mixed race black people in South Africa were labeled, because someone asked the question, what is colored? And he's responding to Sick Suzuki and Tyla under Tyla's post, right? I just shared with you guys about her basically disclaimer of her identity. Underneath Tyla's post, someone put what's colored. And then this guy, this LGBT Afrocentric, took it upon himself to try to educate the people. And he responded to her, to the what's colored comment, what mixed race black people in South Africa. So he's trying to weaponize the one drop rule. He's a American guy, right? So they're going to weaponize the one drop rule more than anybody else on the planet. So he's going to include mixed race black people as if mixed race people belong to him, right? What's this guy going to do? What power does he have, right? In South Africa, we're labeled by the white colonizers. You see that? Colonizers, the same people he works for. He jumps on this app, Elon Musk's app. Okay, Elon Musk, who owns this app he's on, is a white South African, right? So he's going to jump on the white South African's app. The guy who owns it is a white South African, Elon Musk. He's going to jump on his app and call him a colonizer, a white colonizer. How ungrateful are you fucking savages to make these type of statements boldly on the internet and think everyone's going to play along with you? Do you guys see that? The level of ungratefulness? Okay. This white man, Elon Musk from South Africa, allowed you to use his platform without paying, because if he charged a fee, we know your ghetto rear end would go somewhere else. It's a free app to get information out here. And this ungrateful bastard is going to jump on this white South African, Elon Musk's app, and call him a colonizer, trying to slur him. You have no power. You're not in a position to dictate any rules. And I'm just a mulatto guy in America, one guy, okay? And I'm sitting here looking at this. Like, it's mind-boggling. And I see that these are the same people, this type of Bantu, okay, LGBT pro-whack, who's going to serve whites to undermine mulattoes behind the scenes. And they're doing it in open as well. But they still want to act all hip and cool and pro-black and talk shit on X, calling people colonizers, yeah. So they viewed themselves as separate from and better than black people that weren't mixed race. So they would be divided, and the white power structure would stay maintained. Now I look at this ratio, where this was June 14, so 2 days ago he put this, right? Early in the morning. I got talk like them, so they know I'm part of the club, right? And that's how a lot of you mulattoes do it. Got to use the ebonics, talk like a pro whack. 1,714 views, 9 likes. So a bunch of people, a couple thousand people saw this crap. Only 9 of them liked it, which means most people saw this and just kept scrolling. They're like, fuck this tard. I'm pointing out the audacity. The white colonizers, you're on Elon Musk. He bought the app. Oh, well, Elon Musk, he used black folks to get all that money. I'm sitting there like, man, you people give all your money to Asians and Chinese every damn day at the liquor store, convenience store, the nail salon, the Asian food restaurant. You people willingly give your money to all these other nations and you run on the internet and cry victim. Who's buying into this? I'm just a bad guy because I'm the messenger, okay, with some spicy language. But I'm sitting there like, do you guys not see the contradiction and just the ungrateful nature of them? But they want you as a mulatto to like give them favors. You owe me. You know, when I deal with you, you owe me. You need to open up your wallet for me. Says, and then the guy puts here, Twinkle, they are not black if they are mixed. Exactly. That's the first thing, because what they're doing, this is Afrocentric guy. You could look at the picture, LGBT, right? And he has the Palestinian flag there. What's his Pisces puppet? Pisces, which that's like zodiac astrology puppet. He's identifying him his as a puppet. It's just an LGBT kind of tool guy, right? Liberal tool, and they're Afrocentrics, right? Because he puts mixed race black people. If they're mixed race, if they're colored, they're not blacks. Those are clearly two distinct racial demographics, right? You're either black or you're mixed race, or you're white, or you're Indian, or you're Chinese, or something else. Like in America, you're black, or you're biracial, or you're white, or you're Latino. The only people who are pushing this one drop rule shit to try to force mulattoes and biracials into blackness are these type of characters because they want to use your ass, right? Nobody else in this society is pushing this. The whites aren't pushing this crap in America. I don't see it. I mean, if they really get angry at you or mad, like, because I'm a competitive guy, you guys can tell by my nature, the words I use. So, you know, a hothead, a bald-headed, hothead kind of dude out here. So you could tell you think I'm bad on the internet, on YouTube. You just fucking wait till it's just me and you somewhere where no one else is looking. Then you're gonna really find out how fucking mean I really am, right? So you can tell in this society that I am pretty ultra competitive out here. So with other men, yeah, I mean, if I'm pissing someone off and it really gets to an advanced stage, then yeah, people might use some choice words and throw in some super vulgar words and stuff like that. But yeah, you can clip that because I know you people will. You can clip that. They are not black. Yeah, if they are mixed, exactly. They're as African as they are Indian, precisely. They are just as much African as they are European if they're mulatto, hence the fusion, right? Dutch or Indonesian. It would be absurd to call them white because they are mixed with Dutch. So why call them black? Because if they are only part African, leave American race politics in America. Someone who's bringing sense and clarity. All I did was screenshot. He only got like these 2 comments here. Like I said, I looked at the ratio, 1,714 views, only 9 likes. Like, everyone sees you ungrateful people weaponizing the one drop rule, calling them mixed race blacks, and he's trying to attack Tyla and all colored people. He's trying to sit there and be like, oh, they think they're better because the white colonizers, made them think because they're mixed and they're not fully black, they're better. That's his own insecurities and projection coming out because he doesn't like himself. He looks in the mirror. He hates himself. He sees his dark skin, his textured hair, his big lips. He hates himself. So he wants to push his pathology and self-hate onto mixed people and be like, oh, they think they're better because they're not fully black and they're mixed. And the white people, the white power structure divided it, right? And he works for the white power structure. All these people, man, they don't have their businesses. They're giving their money to all the Asians, right? So remember, he works for a white company somewhere, some white liberal pro-LGBT friendly company, and he's on X, the white colonizer. He's on Elon Musk, who's a white South African's platform, talking shit, right? About whites and mixed people. Of course, that's their favorite pastime, right? I like this comment here. It says, leave American race politics in America, because in South Africa, they do something different. In other nations, they do something different. Okay, but they're taking this pro-whack, pro-one-drop rule, American type of situation and trying to basically, force it on the rest of the world. And people are fighting back. They're pushing back. Like, screw that. He puts here, to be different is not to be better. Canceled Agent Smith. says to be different is not to be better. Because he said what he put here about different. Yeah, as separate from and better than black. Because he says so they view themselves as separate from and better than black people. Who Tyla never said she's better than any black person. I've told you guys as well. I'm American mulatto. I'm not better than any black person. Maybe there's some people, whatever, they're black or white or they're even mulatto. Actually, let me rephrase that. There's a lot of people. Yes, I am better than. Okay. But just generally speaking, any racial group, I'd be a fucking fool and a hypocrite to say I'm just better than any other group. No, I have to prove my worth. You have to prove your value in this society, competitive society. I'm not better than most people. I'm just me. So that's what I would say, that like this idea that like being better, like having an ego, a sense of self is very healthy. Like you should think you're better than, most people or a lot of people, I guess. That's very healthy, but I'm not over here like positioning myself I'm so much better. No. I'm very flawed. I have so many deficiencies. Like I'm not positioning myself to say that I'm just better than everybody who's monoracial or whatever the hell they are. People will try to use that as an argument to attack me, right? Oh, he thinks he's better. When did I say that I'm so much better? I mean, if you are a biracial baby mama, a bastard baby maker who gets drunk and jumps on YouTube trying to pick fights and start shit with people, I'm better than you, ho. I'm better than you in every way. I always will be, and you know it, bitch. That's why you're talking shit, running around, trying to clout chase, because you know I'm better than you, ho. And the women, the ladies are gonna listen to me. They're gonna fuck with me. They're gonna watch my content, okay? And I'm only gonna grow. So that's it. And so this guy clearly is, a typical tool. And I looked at the ratio here. Like I said, 9 likes. It is, 1,700 views. And these comments here, this guy says it all right here, right? Right. This is one drop rule. Of course, I'm going to get a lot of your guys' commentary on this. I thought this was essential to share that. And like I said, I'm going to go. Before I close that out, I went to the guy's page, the guy's Twitter handle, and I wanted to add some clarity to that. You can see the whole Palestinian flag. Look at this guy. This is the same guy who put that comment. Because when I saw that comment, I screenshotted it. I was like, okay, let me share that with you guys. Okay. Just the ungrateful nature. Talking about the colonizer. The mixed people think they're better. They're not like you blacks. Okay. They're not like Kendrick said. They're mixed with East Indian or Dutch or whatever they're mixed with. Like they're not the same as a black like you. We can see your picture here. Okay. Okay. This is a public profile, whatever, on Twitter. It's not private, or X they call it now. But I saw this. Yeah. Pretty Flocka. And he calls himself, what I say, was a Pisces puppet or something, just a fruity, handle. And look at his flag here, guys. He's got the Palestinian flag. I'm not going to harp on this guy. I'm questioning the rhetoric this guy's pushing, because they rarely get challenged for their racism and anti-mulatto and anti-white racism. And they're going to use the white man's internet, the white man's social media to talk shit about the colonizer. He's talking about South African colonizers. Is this guy so stupid to not know that Elon Musk bought and owns the app Twitter? He changed the name to X. It's Elon Musk. Like, he's from white man from South Africa. But this is just the ungrateful nature of these people. You deal with them. And look at this. I found this. I went to his page and I already knew this is just a typical racist, pro-black, pro-LGBT liberal shill. Okay, I already knew I was going to go to his page. I'd find something. They always telling themselves. Look at this guy. Get this albino corn dog off my timeline. But he shared it, though. He's talking about get him off my timeline, but he shared it. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I don't know who he is. He says, me when I recognize a sample. This guy doesn't appear to be albino. He doesn't have the Negroid Bantu features, with the broad, big noses and the big lips and the curly hair. This looks like a Caucasian individual, right? Does he look like a fucking Bantu to you? Or albino? Because this guy calls him albino. Remember the one guy, the Prince of Papa John's Pizza? Do I need to remind you guys? You guys know who I'm talking about, right? The Prince of Papa John's Pizza. or we could just call him the Prince of Popeye's chicken. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? Remember he was calling that one dude albino. Remember the Prince of Popeye's chicken, right? He was like, "Oh, you albino, you albino." That's like a slur.
Horses, chickens, the loosey goosey. You
You guys remember that? Remember that guy, the Prince of Popeye's chicken? Remember he was talking shit to Saw Raw Suit and Seti, light skinned mixed guy. He was calling him albino. That's like one of their digs. And I found this. I just went to his page. I was like, oh, of course. Of course you're showing your ass to the whole world. Ungrateful. Using the white man's application, talking shit about not only white people, but see, you had to run your mouth about mixed people. See, if you just fought your battles, you wanted to be a pro whack, you wanted to fight the white power structure. I don't even deal with you people. It's not my battle. I'm not like you people. I don't care. You go fight your white massa, go over there. But once you people start coming for multiracials, coming for mulattoes, coming for Tyla, and you want to gaslight and be hostile and shit, okay, well, I'm going to use you for content, period. Talking about get this albino. And I shared that whole Dr. Umar little clip, because like I said, Dr. Umar was hating on some mixed guy, calling him an albino. That's their slur. They're using albino as like a slur to be like, you're melanin deficient, right? Some fat baby mama pig who has a, a baby daddy was trying to call me melanin deficient. That was her dig at me. It's funny. I saw her channel. She's gonna pretend like she gives a damn about mixed people and couples. Like shares a little video. I'm like, wait a second, ho. I remember like a while ago where you were talking shit about me because I'm light skinned. Literally called me Casper. I'm like, these golden sphere characters are so full of shit. That's why I laughed. I first found the space. I was like, okay, where are the mulattoes at? Let's kind of start to delineate, because it's just a bunch of pro whacks, and you got the light skin, baby mamas hating on the light skinned men. It was fucking weird. But yeah, like this whole albino in their community, see, and notice something too. This is a guy. See, because they're going to talk shit about the guy being light skinned. They're going to talk shit about this guy trying to say, oh, he's albino. Like I said, there was a biracial baby mama, right? Who's basically was trying to say, oh, you're melanin deficient. She called me Casper. And this fat pig looks like a Mexican that ate too many tortas. And she's going to sit there and say, you're bald, you're Casper, you're melanin deficient. See, in their community, it's acceptable to slander a man for being light skinned. It's acceptable for them to call a man albino as a diss, or to call a man, Casper or whatever. This I'm trying to share with you guys. This is how they operate, right? They've literally positioned the whole, and then they're going to try to act all like innocent, like they're virtuous and righteous and they're justified. And I'm sitting there like, get this albino corn dog off my timeline. You shared it, but he's a fruitcake, right? You got the Palestinian flag. He calls himself pretty. What man's going to call himself pretty? I'm not fucking pretty. I'm ugly. Okay. I'm bald headed. I'm short and I'm fat. And I don't give a fuck what you say. Okay. Because I'm a man. I got some balls. I'm going to talk my shit. And you're damn fucking right. I got an attitude. So what? Now what? Now what? You think I'm just going to go away and hide? Okay. Yeah, good luck. Eventually, I will be making money off you. That's the whole goal, right? But I'm looking at this dynamic. Like, this guy's not innocent. Talking about the white colonizer, right? Mixed people think they're better, but he's going to talk shit about a guy because he's light skinned, calling him albino. I said a lot there, had some choice words, but I wanted to point out the hypocrisy we see with a lot of these characters. I'm going to get into one other comment I saw here before I drop the link and kind of get into some of your guys' comments, because you guys are in the chat super active. I haven't been looking at the chat, but shout out to you guys. You guys always turn out, man. I love you people, man. Especially you mulattoes. I don't even care what color t-shirt you are. You're not mulatto. You're white, black, Asian, whatever. All you people showing love in the chat, man. I love you guys, man. You guys definitely motivate me and give me material and inspiration to continue to serve. So Appreciate you guys in the chat. You guys are the real MVP. So for all you, shout out to you. I will get to your guys' comments. I'll check it out in a minute. Let me get through this. Shout out to Val. She's in the chat right now. One of my top moderators, Val. DC's up in there as well. And I saw Val put this comment I'm sharing right now. She was on the live stream yesterday. I should actually give a disclaimer. I did on my other channel. Somebody was catfishing me. Now, I've heard about the Golden Sphere for the past 2 years. And when I first found the Golden Sphere space, I noticed that right away, that there's people who will literally create like a fake account, or like a sock puppet account, a catfish account, or they'll create a sock puppet account and they'll try to catfish as a specific content creator. And there's various reasons why they do that. Number one is they want to tarnish that person's reputation. So what they'll do is they'll put like a, excuse me, they'll put like an outrageous comment to try to make it seem like this person's problematic. And then they'll go into a chat, starting shit, talking crap to get people to go back and forth. I saw that yesterday. That was the first time I witnessed that. I was like, damn, I'm that special now. That some weirdo out here created a whole fake account pretending to be me to like, basically generically like just start some shit with some person that I already don't like. I can just use my own channel to talk shit if I don't like the individual. But someone, did that yesterday. I was like, oh, okay, this is where people are doing now. Saboteurs. There are people who are trying to sabotage and literally trying to get people to fight each other for entertainment or content, when it's like, people are pretending to be me. I don't understand. Like, I can handle my own shit. I'm doing my own thing. So I don't understand why you have someone out here who's trying to pretend to be me because they don't like this individual. They want to see people go back. Everything's already been said. Like, I've already stated my case. I'll probably state more. I'll say more. Everything has already been said, like my position. I'm very clear about what I stand for. Okay. So I just want to point it out that I saw, Val's comment on that live stream, but I saw that live stream. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. People out here are trying to pretend to be me and shit now. Now, I did jump in the chat later and was talking my shit, because I heard other people talking about me. I was like, wait a second, you got a fake account trying to pretend to be me up in your chat. Okay, well, shit. Well, now I'm here. So let's fucking talk. And no, I'm not going to hit the link because I don't want to talk to that fucking drunk criminal scumbag. I don't want to deal with that piece of shit. Okay. So I'm not going to hit the link. Okay. I'm going to just do what I do on my channel. And that's, just keep it 100. So I saw this comment, Val, shout out to you. I want to share it here. It says, I think and this was basically based off the whole Tyla situation. Shout out to the Ant Report, because the Ant Report was he kind of glossed over the Tyla situation on his stream yesterday. And I think he wants to talk more about it in the future, or, pretty soon. So the Ant Report talked about the whole kind of Tyla situation, right? And the Val, she put her comment there saying, I think they want non-blacks, mulattoes, and light skin to act like they are beneath them in their presence because they have such low self-worth and already feel inferior around those other groups. So I saw this comment over there that Val put, and I was like, man, you always hit the nail on the head. And that's why I'm so happy you're over here on my channel and what you provide, your commentary, because me and you, we have a lot in common. Like, you understand what's going on, right? And you've studied the psyche, and you probably studied it more than me, because you said you were kind of raised around those people. I really wasn't, but just through lived experience, maturity, I started to realize how they operate. And I was like, there's a large level of self-hate that they have, and they want to force mulattoes to be underneath them, to punk us, to make themselves feel better because of their low self-esteem. So let me read this comment again, because this is like extremely profound. She puts, I think they want non-blacks, and this is in reference to Tyla and why they're trying to force Tyla, the Afrocentrics and pro-wax, they're trying to force Tyla to identify as black. Like, let me share just quickly before I get back to that comment. Like the guy here I already previously had. I just shared this guy here, right? You guys can see the screen. This guy right here. Why a guy like him And he puts this stupid comment talking about mixed race people. They think they're black or they think they're mixed and they're better because the white colonizer, all this same crap we all heard. The real reason why he put that is, exactly what Val put is spot on. This is what they think. I think they want non-blacks, meaning coloreds or mulattoes, right? Mulattoes and light skin to act like they're beneath them in their presence because they have such low self-worth and already feel inferior around those other people. That's what it is. That's why I really appreciate Val being over here. Like, this is exactly what it is. Like, their projection is on fleek, over 9,000. They feel so low about themselves. They feel like they need to punk and bully mulattoes to feel better about themselves. And people will say, you're not balanced. You're not talking about your white side. I do not see white Americans pushing this shit. Like I said, when the black lady, the TikTok clip I shared, she tried to say, oh, Americans have a hard time. No, 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 no. She needs to put the word African or black in front of American because that's that specific demographic who has a hard time understanding the nuances or complexities with multiracial people, either in America, like a Drake, or outside of America, like in South Africa, like Tyla. It's not white Americans who don't get it. Like I said, I travel this country and like they know when they look at me, I'm not a black, like a like 50 Cent or Wesley Snipes or one of these Bantus. Like we're not the same. Or Kendrick, Lil Kenny, right? With his mixed race queen. So I saw a Celtic mulatto, shout out to you. He puts crabs in a barrel mentality. It's basically an inferiority complex with blacks. They refuse to acknowledge distinction in phenotype, which is the glowing pink elephant in the room. The distinction in phenotype is the elephant in the room. Oh, black comes in all shades. Why is it that, I just shared with you guys, why is it that that guy uses albino as a slur, right? It just shows you how racist the black American Afrocentrics are towards people who don't look like them, right? They feel if you identify as Creole or mulatto or mixed race, they think that you think they are better than them. No one wants to be at the bottom of the totem pole alone. Exactly. It's a misery loves company. The crabs in a bucket. The crabs in a bucket I call AKA the communitaw. I laugh and say communitaw. I don't address it as a community because it doesn't function because a community, they support you and lift you up, right? They want to do business with you, right? And help, finance you, support you, help you get through college, help you with paying off loans. Like a community supports you and lifts you up. I laugh and say communitaw because it operates complete opposite. It's like crabs in a bucket. They want to pull you down into the sewer to be a proud victim and blame everyone for why you're a loser, right? No one wants to be at the bottom of the totem pole alone. And I put here again, he puts, but I'm going to read, they refuse to acknowledge the distinction in phenotype, which is the glowing pink elephant in the room. But what they don't want to acknowledge the distinction in phenotype, what they'll say is, well, black comes in all shades. It don't matter. We all black. We all from the hood. Oh, my great granddaddy, she was light skinned and she had 2 dark skin. They always say that shit, right? Black comes in all shades. We all from the hood, But then why, if black comes in all shades and you're so accepting, why is this pro whack right here? He's calling this guy an albino as a slur, right? Get this albino corn dog. You guys see how racist that is? Like he's making a diss at this man who's not albino. He just looks like a Caucasian man, right? He's trying to talk shit about his skin color, that he's light skinned. This is racism, guys. But he's allowed to get away with the racism. Number one, he's a fucking pro whack. Number two, he's probably LGBT, right? Intersectionality, because they have all the victimhood points. They can be the featurist. They can look at you and talk shit because you're bald. They'll be so proud to be advocates of featurism and texturism. Like they're so against texturism only for the fucking blacks. But if you're a mixed man, okay, if you're a white man, they're going to talk shit about your ass for being bald, right? That's why, their arguments, it's all flawed. I mean, this is the same crap. Like they want to be able to be racist and hateful towards you. But when you give them that energy, they whine and cry. But who's going to listen? Their white massa, really? Who's going to listen to them? The other pro whacks who will easily sell them out. You look at how they operate, you know. So I just wanted to point that out. Like, this guy's using albino as like a slur or a dig at this man. But I thought black comes in all shades. So why are you hating? Why are you hating on this guy? Right? They expose themselves, long enough. When you study long enough, you see it, you're like, yeah, right. Like this guy here calling people albino.
Cows, horses, chickens. The loosey goosey. You
Right? Remember him calling Sarah Suit and City albino, talking all this shit. I've already blabbed, on enough. Let me drop this link, see what you guys got to say. Fuck it, I don't care. Shout out to the South African Coloreds. Shout out. I want to promote you guys more and have some more positive stuff to share. But yeah, people, I saw the comments there telling me, hey, can you talk about that? Because they're basically, charlatans and fraud. And I just shared that pro whack on Twitter. They're trying to hate on colored people and hate on mixed people and Tyla for their identity. Trying to talk crap, talk about the colonizer. And yet these same people are working for their colonizer, They're using the colonizer's social media app to talk shit about mixed people. So this is precisely what we see going on. I got a lot of your comments, guys. I got a lot of comments from people. Let me see what we got here. Go all the way up, damn. Gonna keep me here all night, but I'm gonna do my best to get through some of these comments. Let's see. Don't forget Hillary got sauce from her purse. Yeah. Hillary got her hot sauce from her purse. Just show the blacks. You can put. That's why I laughed in one of my videos. I think the last live stream. Just put some hot sauce on your chicken. You want to be down with the pro wax, right? Just put some hot sauce on your chicken. Just do a little funky little African dance and listen to Kendrick Lamar, and all the pro wax are gonna like you, right? Yeah, it's that easy. In South Africa, colored MLS mulatto normally has zero to do with black race. Their color has its own race destination or distinction. Yeah, of course it does. Her being USA is not good. She's 20. She's like 24, 23. She's young. Yeah, you keep mentioning Gunna. She's some Bantu. She's with Gunna, whatever. I don't care about that. I don't care who she's with, who she's dating, who she's dealing with. That's her. She's a young woman. She'll figure it out. The thing I only say is, look, she might get her Diddy treatment from Gunna or some other degenerate Bantu. And, what is she going to do? Like, she gets her Diddy treatment or her Deontay Wilder treatment, because I heard that guy, beat the brakes off his partner, his preference. And I'm sitting there like, what do you want me to do? I don't care who these women date or who they deal with. I don't care. Like, the thing is, look, my whole thing is, if they're going to talk shit about mulatto guys or light-skinned guys to gain favor with the dark-skinned Bantu, I just basically cut them off and block them. Like, go have fun over there. Once you become a baby mama, okay, and you're in poverty, you're stuck and you're struggling, stay your ass over there. Okay. I don't want to deal with you. You've already made it clear you don't like guys like me. Have fun. Have a good day. There's too many women out here to deal with. Why the fuck would I deal with some Pookie's leftover? That's beneath me. Okay. So those are people, when you say, oh, you're better, you don't think you're better. Look, I am better than those type of scum, right? Who think they're going to diss me because I'm a light-skinned dude to gain favor with a dark-skinned dude, and then the same idiot becomes a baby mama. Like, yeah, I am better than you. Fuck out of here, loser. What? But yeah, if Tyla's with Gunna, I don't give a damn who she's with. She's proud to be South African colored. If she's proud in her identity, to me, that's all that matters. Who she's fucking or who she's dealing with, that's none of my business. He says, Charlamagne, charlatan's a grapist. Why he has a voice at all is crazy. I did hear something about some allegations a while ago. I don't know too much into that. I could look into it, but remember, he represents the black community. The same people who, like with what's his name? R. Kelly. And remember, Kendrick Lamar defended R. Kelly, P. Diddy, right? And this is who they defend. This is who they are, right? Every 5.5 hours, right? all the pro Pookie, you got Sexy Red, and all the music you have with like the gangster rap, and from the hood, you're from the hood, you're pro whack, they not like us. Like, this is their culture. And the mulattoes who want to fail and embrace that culture, they can have a good day and have fun. I'm just not going to be there with them. Have one objective, they want her knocked up. Yeah, you keep talking about Gunna, dude. I don't care about Gunna. I think I've seen a video or a picture of her and Gunna. Look, even Tyla, yeah, she's attractive. She's in shape. Young woman. She's very thin and shaved, sexy. She can move her body, her hips, and all that. But it's like, you know, I just love the fact that she's proud to be South African colored, because colored people need representation. Like I said, I don't know too many colored artists, colored musicians or movie stars or whatever. We all know who Trevor Noah is, but he's not colored. He's biracial, right? And so I just like to see that the colored people like have a representation on a national scale, especially like with the American audience. But a lot of these Americans they're ignorant. They show it every day. Even me, I show some ignorance for sure. And so yeah, I just like the fact that she's proud to be colored and she's representing that. That to me is the best thing that I see out of this whole situation. They want her to fail, yeah, because she's mixed, right? They want the dark skin supremacy. They want Lauryn Hill to win, Lupita to win, right? They want Drake to fail. You see how they want Drake to fail? You don't think it's gonna work the same with the women, the mixed women? They try to do that with Doja Cat. Remember, Doja Cat said way more outrageous stuff than Drake. I mean, they're both biracial, right? Now, a lot of the pro wax, remember, it's a matriarchy in America, so they'll say, well, both of those biracials have a white mom, right? Drake and Doja Cat, right? So the black female supremacists, right, the guardians of the pro whack culture, they're gonna say, oh, well, they both have white moms, and so that's why they act like that, right? Yeah. We'll get into more of that later because we got juicy information on that. All these divestors, and they're having their kids and they're pushing their their self-hate and anti-blackness onto their kids. It's not looking too good for them. So I don't know. They keep wanting to push this whole like white mom biracial thing when it's like all their history would be just, vanished if we took it all back from them. Barack Obama, okay, all these people, Kamala Harris, his Indian mom, they'd have no representation. Okay. So they need to be thankful that the white woman even dealt with them, to be honest with you. Notice only dark-skinned black men want her to ID as black only because they want the access. Exactly. Not marriage. No. No, when you talk, like even my detractors, the biracial baby mamas, right? And they'll lie and pretend like they're married, but they're really just bisexual femcells. And they're mad at me because I have women who actually like me, who are on my channel, on my social media, that deal with me. So that's the thing. Like, yeah, the dark skinned black guys, they only want access to her to make her a baby mama. And for the thing is, like I said, when you look at some of these individuals, once they become baby mamas and they become disgruntled, then they go to divestor spaces. They try to hang out with the divestors, but then it's like, oh, the divestors, they check them. They realize, oh, wait a second, you got a white mom. Your mom is a Karen. You weren't raised by a black woman. They're like, get the fuck out of here. That's what happens. And these women, some of them, they don't know where the hell to go. They got to just create their own space. And they call it the golden sphere. So they have a pro black manosphere space with biracial baby mamas that are like, the spokesperson pretending to be for mixed people when they've already publicly said they're a subgroup to blacks. Like they just want acceptance from black people. They're just upset that black women gatekeep the culture. So they need black men for protection to get access into Blackistan. And it's like, and they're disgruntled. They see a mixed guy who's like, I'm not dealing with you people. So they're disgruntled. You see this right here. Yeah. They only want the sexual access to the box. They don't want to marry her. And like I said, you have some of these individuals, they think they can lie to the public and say like, oh, I'm a married woman. You're not fucking married, you drunk cunt. You're not married. Like a married woman is not on the internet calling other women pick-meshas and mammies. right? What type of married woman would go around the internet trying to pick a fight and bully other women, calling them, you know, pick Mishas and mammies? That's not, you know, that is some baby mama disgruntled hood rat talk, right? So you got individuals out here on social media who are lying their pants off, trying to pretend like they're married, they got a whole marriage, but they're so fixated on other people's relationships. They can't worry about their own relationships. These are the disgruntled baby mamas, okay? Blackistan baby mamas. Black women are not trying to make her black. In fact, they hate her. Yeah. Yeah, the guys like you said, like Gunna, whatever, Charlamagne, they just want to make her like basically undesirable to other civilized men. They want to bastardize her. This is what it is. Okay, and that's what, and then the other men are looking at the behavior like, we don't want to deal with you. Okay, you've already been tainted by Pookie. There's nothing else to say. Like, there's too many people and women to deal with out here. Why would I deal with you when you're Pookie's leftovers? That's a downgrade. That's like if we can take an analogy with like a vehicle, you're driving a Porsche. Okay, you want to trade your Porsche in, and then they want to give you like a 1985 Toyota Camry with 300,000 miles on it. The tires are basically worn out. The engine's fucked up. They want to give you that, and you're sitting there like, what? This is precisely what happens with some of these, you know, Pookie's leftover bastard baby mamas. Like, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, no thank you. I'll take the bike or I'll walk. Okay, I'll do something else. Unfortunately, she wants to be in America. Yeah, the American music, because American music's global, right? Right, all over the world, you're gonna hear American music. Okay, Michael Jackson, all the American artists. So that's why she wants to tap into that market. But she's facing some challenges, and that's primarily because of demographic she's catering her music to. Right. I think Drake is really good. Drake is really secure because he doesn't need these blacks. And I'm trying to get these other mulatto men to realize that they need you more than you will ever need them. And what a lot of the mulatto men is they lack is fraternity, cohesion, right? Ultimately, a culture developing out of that common interest. But a guy like Drake, like he doesn't need any. Like I've already told you guys, I've been to these like all white towns in America where I'm going to a restaurant, like a fast food restaurant, like an Arby's. I'm just stopped at the side of the road, get some food to go jump back on the road, and all these white people are listening to Drake. And there's no mulattoes or black people or anybody in sight except for me. I walk in there and they're listening to Drake. That's an indication that demographic of white America, they will buy your product, support your art, your music, like a Drake, right? So he doesn't need blacks. And I think that's why the blacks are very like vicious in America. Let me be specific, black Americans, why they're very vicious and hostile towards Drake. Because they know for a damn fact he doesn't need them. They need him. And he's laughing at them. Because he helped Kendrick. He helped ASAP Rocky. He helped all these Bantus, right, with their careers a decade ago. And they're turning on him because he's more famous than they will ever be. And he's laughing at them. He knows that he'll always be better than them. And they need him. He doesn't need them. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. We got Star Wars: The Bantu Strike Again. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, man. Like the Bantu strikes back. The Bantu strike back. This next edition, Mulatto Vanguard Wars. The return of the Bantu. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. The Bantu strike back. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. They said Drake lost because he's mulatto. Yeah, right. What did he lose? Like, he didn't lose any followers, any hype, what did he lose? That's what I'm trying to think. Like, what did he lose? I know he did a little song with Sexy Red. Some stupid like BBL Drizzy shit. He tried to play off it and laugh. It was fucking stupid anyways, this whole BBL Drizzy crap. But what did he lose? Like the guy has so many hits. He could easily, he's probably in the studio right now. He could work and, craft up a hit. What Drake has always been good at is collaborations. Collab with what's his name? A lot of Future collabs. He collabed with Rick Ross, but Rick Ross turned on his ass. He collabed with Nicki Minaj, right? That song, I Like My Girls BBW. Remember that with Lil Wayne? He collabed with Chris Brown. He collabed with The Game. Like he has a lot of collabs out there, and those songs are still popping. Basically, you could bump that shit, and people still listen to it. Can you say the same for Lil Kenny, the little pro whack? Kenny is just a proxy. Little Kendrick Lamar. They'll use anybody. They'll use some crackhead black guy on the street corner in Skid Row. They'll use anybody just to represent blackness because they want to humble the mulatto. And that's what a lot of these mulattoes don't get. Like when they see the Tyler situation, it's connected with the Drake. They want to humble, they want to try to force this position to where they want to try to trick you thinking you need them when it's the other way around. They need you, right? A lot of mulattoes just haven't figured it out yet, unfortunately. But it's okay. I'm here to spread awareness. I'm not an activist. Okay. They already got her calling very ugly. Yeah. I have no idea what who she's dating. I thought you were talking about an interviewer, and you think she's too young to decide who to date, but not too young to shake her ass for millions of people. I just don't agree with this young people are all dumb thing because I've been in my own since age 18. I'm fine. I think you're a couple years older than me, right? I'm in my mid 30s. Although I don't understand the purpose of dating a 33-year-old at 21, unless I think Tyla, I checked, let me double check. She's like 23. She's young, 22. Oh yeah, she's young, 22 years old, right? And so what, Gunna's 33. Like I said, I don't care who this woman's dating, who Tyla's. I don't care. I don't care. The fact that she's South African and colored woman and she's proud to be colored, like that's enough for me to support her. And in the fact where like people, the Bantus will try to like challenge her and harass her, and she's standing firm saying no, she's colored, she's proud of her heritage. Like to me, that's good enough to support her. I don't give a damn who she's dating. It's not my business. Don't care. Or this Gunna guy, it's a stupid name. I don't know who he is. Don't care. Same thing Casey did with Diddy. Yeah. So dating a well-connected American rapper is not an accident. Says these rappers, dark-skinned black men, tell the same lie. Equals he can help her career. White men found Tyla. White men own all the music industry, including Gunna. All can do for her is sex. Remember what happened with Miss Mulata when this degenerate Bantu savage, what's his name, a Kodak Black. Remember when he was like trying to do a collab with Miss Mulata, but part of the collab he had a stipulation where he wanted to like sleep with her. For a lot of these degenerate savages, that's what they want. They want to bastardize the mulatto woman. So he wanted to like sleep with her as part of like the, to get the kind of the trade off, right? The collaboration. And she declined and said no. She didn't want to deal with him. And remember, he got all butthurt. It was Kodak Black. Remember that, guys? And remember at the award show when she won an award, Kodak Black, or when Miss Mulata, she won an award. I think it was BET award or something. Then Kodak Black did a Twitter post and called her a mutt, a racial slur. But it's allowed for him to do that. Because remember, he's a fucking savage. He's a dark-skinned, Bantu fucking savage. So it's okay for him to be a racist to mixed people, right? And the reason why it is because you mix people, most of you are fucking cowards. You don't fight back. Okay, you don't push back because you're punks, you're cowards. That's on you. But it's okay because I can see what you guys are going through. You're getting harassed by the Bantu. They're hating on Tyla and all this. And I'll talk about it. Yeah, I'll bring it up here. I'll be the bad guy. Okay. I'll spread awareness. But I already know right now it's because a lot of you guys, you think this is acceptable. You think it's acceptable to have these people basically try to tarnish your reputation, to slur you and slander you, right? If you don't give them what they want, like Kodak Black, the mulatto woman didn't give him what he wanted, so he's going to try to throw shade on her. That's how it is. It's same with the men, like with Drake. Drake didn't help him out enough, so now they're turning on him. I think she'll use him and then eventually break up with him. That's a problem when talking about morals and celebrities. Yeah, gonna. Yeah, in Africa, you will be called white, but in Angola, we are called mulattoes. The blacks in Angola don't one drop rule us. Interesting, yeah. She didn't have to settle for that Gunna guy. I guess it's possible she likes him. I just think she's using him, yeah, for connections. It's okay. Yeah, a lot of people do that in that business. Yeah, Tyla and Gunna. I don't even care about what the hell this Tyla Gunna stuff. Let me see if I can move on. I don't care who this woman's with. Weird why mixed people from foreign countries matter to Black Americans. Why do they have to do with them? The reason why is because of the prominence and the fact that Tyla is on the international stage. She's getting all this attention for her music. So the pro-Black Afrocentrics, they want a one-drop rule, and they enforce the one-drop rule. They don't want other people in the world to feel like, oh, there's a difference from someone who's pure Black or a Bantu with little admixture from someone who's multiracial like Tyla. They want to purposely blur the lines and muddy the waters to confuse people. They don't want that distinction to be drawn out. That's why I shared the comments from Val and the Celtic Mulatto, etc., where they purposely want to cause confusion for their own political purpose because they want to be able to weaponize the one drop rule to use that mixed person to benefit them, right? I do feel bad for her because Americans are very aggressive compared to non-Americans. She's probably like, yeah, the Americans are pretty hostile and violent. Yeah, Americans are pretty violent and hostile and aggressive. So yeah. Yeah. Let's see what we got. And Africans have a much more gentle nature than American blacks, and it doesn't even come close. Yeah, especially you go to a country. I can speak for Ghana. I've been there. I know Afropean Monica. She's has Nigerian heritage from her family, but she's been to Ghana several times, plenty of times, and she can say the same as well. Like, yeah, it's a complete world of difference with people there. Like the nature of people there versus like the average person you'll deal like the Bantu in America. It's just a world of difference. And it's because of the culture, right? It's not the skin complexion. Okay, use a colorist. Mulatto Vanguard, you call them dark skin Bantu. You're colorist. Okay, well, you call people light skin this. Okay, so we're gonna call your ass dark skin that. Deal with it. So no, it's not about the color. It's about the culture. The culture. And when you have African people who have a culture and they have pride in their nation and their tribe, their culture, they're able to deal like their diplomatic capabilities are way more impressive than the hoodbooker Bantu, the pro whack in America, where they're trying to force this identity policing narrative onto you, right? Like a charlatan, the fraud, or some other crap. KMC is going in with these primate references. I'm looking at the chat. The thing with that is you got to realize that I have a lot of kind of, I guess you can say, ops. So they're going to try to use that against me in a way, which I don't care. I mean, I could say worse, especially if, say 6ix9ine punk charlatan defraud once on the N-word. Oh yeah, and he said someone put a comment I saw on a post or on a video where Tekashi 6ix9ine basically checked his black ass, was like, who's gonna check me? Because he said, oh, you say the N-word, you're not black, you're Hispanic. And Tekashi's sitting there, who's gonna check him? Right? No one's gonna check him. That's funny. Like they have no power. They'll resort to savagery, but once the barbarians match that energy, then they cry white supremacy and racism, right? That's what always happens, right? Once you kind of match them with that, then they cry racism. The white man, 400 years. You give me reparations. But it's like, oh, I thought you're tough from the hood. So which one is it? Are you a victim or are you about that shit? Because they have influence because they want to play both sides. They want to be aggressive and want to be, barbarians, but at the same time they want this proud victim status, like where you got to you got to help them out and give them reparations. I'm like, you can only pick one and stick to it. Doesn't work that way, right? He didn't want to be blackety black because he bleached his skin and he's still dark. Is that charlatan a fraud? He's a skin bleacher? I wouldn't doubt it. Leave Tyla alone. She's brown skin and mixed. She isn't black exactly, right? She's not black. Hope the black community uh, adopts Not Like Us as their anthem. The state black community drag, or the brag, they're not including us exactly. But you're always going to have these biracials, and the thing is, like, the biracials, they kind of anchor themselves in that community by having illegitimate kids, right? That's based off their mating habits, who they date and deal with, and their kids. That's how they anchor themselves and establish legitimacy, right, in that group. So you're always going to have these people who are always going to be, what are you going to do? Val, I agree. Africans are much more gentler than American blacks. Yep, for sure. I have firsthand knowledge. She's going to be the mascot for Exoticals. Yeah, I don't know. I think at this point right now, the mascot for the Exoticals is basically, you take your pick. Viola Davis, okay? Lupita Nyong'o, Viola Davis, okay? Some South Sudan model. The Exoticals, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, okay? It just means a woman who is basically, radical feminist, who wants to quote unquote level up, which is get money out of men. It's like, how are you going to do that? You're going to trick them? How are you going to how are men going to just pay you? Okay, that type of transaction, men are only going to just, I mean, if they, whatever. I don't want to even get into that right now. Why do they get triggered? Yeah, because they want control, the identity policing. It says, I've been called anti-black for being proud to be mulatto. Oh, yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. That's welcome to the club. Mulattoes are half black, so blacks have no place to tell mulattoes that they cannot honor their enslaved ancestors. On Juneteenth, right? They are so desperate for control because they possess none. They have none. See, the only control they feel like they can have is over mulattoes. That's why charlatan jokes about biracials, you stay home. Nobody else will deal with those savages. Everyone else knows that they're basically not in a position of power or authority. They have nothing to offer. Everyone else in civilized society laughs at them. I mean, their position is to create music for us and to throw a ball through a hoop, dance for us, and entertain us. And I know people are going to hate me saying that. It's going to irk their soul, but prove me otherwise. Shout out to the men, whatever race they are, black, white, whatever, who are the truck drivers, the repo men, the trash men, the food service men. I'm not talking about individual American citizens, workers in a society. I'm talking about the collective culture and what they push and what they have to offer. When they talk about this Juneteenth celebration, where they want to exclude the biracials, you have Charlatan, who's their spokesperson, joking about, because they, as a group, they don't have any influence or power. This is what I'm talking about, where as a group, they're the entertainment class for everyone else. So they don't have the power. So they're so desperate for that power and control. The only people who will entertain them are these biracials. Let's be real. I mean, I sit up here, talk my shit and laugh. I'm like, okay, this is funny, but other people take it a little bit more seriously, in a sense, especially if they have kids by them and stuff like that. They're kind of married into that group. It's just, it's on them. I was joking because I noticed a lot of exoticals saying they're black and Indian mixed. They're usually darker and get annoyed that African Americans say they're black. So they say, no, my hair and nose. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the exoticals, yeah. Golden Sphere women channels are really trying to defend coward dark-skinned black men against MLS mulatto men. Now they were attacking them openly in the media. I'd like some examples. But yeah, I mean, this is what it is. Like with the whole, like the Golden Sphere, you have a lot of these light-skinned guys. I don't understand, like they haven't figured it out yet. Like, and they need something to basically as a banner. They need a banner, they need a flag, a symbol to rally behind because they were trying to just use their skin color, right? They're light skinned, they're golden or MLS, but they're still underneath the fucking blacks. And I'm going to say it like that because that's how it is. Like I said, they grew up around them. They talk like him. That's their hood. And they'll even result to the same savagery because you had this guy, Caesar Cannon, where he has this petition talking about he needs protection from the dark skinned blacks. But he grew up around all the blacks, right? And even for him, he was simping for one of the drunk criminal baby mamas, right? Who's clout chasing. He was simping for her. He had a video where he had like a pistol on his lap trying to intimidate the other mixed men, trying to intimidate the mixed men. He had a like, and I saw this shit. This was like a couple years ago, and I was like, they act like a bunch of fucking thugs, like tattoos on their face, grilled in their teeth, and they're talking this light skin stuff, but they have no banner, they have no symbol to unify them as men. The mulattoes have a symbol. Mulattoes have a flag. We need to continue to add more to the culture, to the identity, but we have something way more than them because they're still in Blackistan. Their operating system is in Blackistan. They want to use the same thug tactics to try to intimidate men out here, result to savagery. I'm going to check, I'm going to slap you, and flashing guns, in the Golden Sphere. There's a couple people who've done that crap because you talk about Golden Sphere women channels, but there's a couple men who like flash guns. I'm like, man, they act like a bunch of blacks. Like, I don't know you people, man, we're not the same. You call me racist or whatever, but I'm not up here flashing none of this shit. I don't deal with you savages like that unless you're dancing or paying me. Fuck you hoes. And they want this like petition for protection. And all they do is protect the Bantu. That's why I'm sitting there like, and like you said, like, yeah, and then in return, they're golden women, right? Whatever they call. They got bastard kids by dark-skinned black men, and they're gonna defend the black men, right? And throw your light-skinned ass under the bus. I saw that shit, man, 2 years ago. I laughed. I was like, man, fuck these fools. I'm mulatto. I'm doing something different. All that golden shit has been defunct as far as I'm concerned. Black American burnout. Gunna, Ty. I don't care about Gunna and Tyla. I don't care about Gunna. I do not care. Another Bantu. I don't care. And Darkson want to see her miserable like them. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And what it is too is you'll have women like biracial baby mamas. They want to try to bully other mixed women into being baby mamas like them. Like if they find mixed women who are not black identified or who don't have black baby daddies, like they resent them. They hate on them. Like because you'll see them navigate towards the same channels, right? And you'll see a common denominator where you're like, oh, wait a second. They all got black baby daddies. They're all struggling. Like, they got a bunch of black male simps on their channel, Black Manosphere. Okay, cool. But they want the other women to be just like in that position like them, right? So if it's a mixed woman who's like got a white husband or a Latino husband and she's not in the black community, she's doing good for herself, they're not really going to like her, right? I mean, that's what I see often. If they don't identify with the African diaspora, they're not human. Yeah, well, the people who aren't human are telling you you're not human. Okay, I mean, interpret that how you want to, but who the hell is going to tell you that you're not human? I mean, you tell me. Interpret that how you want. Gunna does not want to wife her. He just wants to say he hit that and have proof. It gives him creds. Yeah, with only dark-skinned black men. No one else cares, right? I don't care about this Gunna shit. This is too late. I don't want to talk about Gunna. Most of those women try and fail at baby trapping men. It's not hard to avoid pregnancy in a first world country. Yeah, all the contraceptives on the market. You got over like 20. You got a patch. There's some Blaxican chick. was talking to. She's got a patch and shit. And there's so many other contraceptives people have. So there's no excuses, right? If they don't identify as black, they are wiggity whack. Yeah. Uh yeah. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Oh, I want to see this. This isn't funny. This is funny. Sounds like we got a sellout house Negro on the live. Who's that? Who's the sellout house Negro? Please tell me. I'd like to know. I was never in the community. I was never a part of the community. So I'd love to know, like, sell out what? I was never in your group to sell out anything. Who are you talking about? Can't be me.
You dare mock me, ape.
I have no idea who this sellout is you speak of, because it cannot be me. I didn't say she was. I said those women who got pregnant by Pookies do that. How else would it happen? Yeah. All the contraceptives, birth control pill, implants, etc. Yeah, you're right. Oh my God, Tyla and Gunna. I got to get through these comments because I don't give a fuck about Gunna. I don't care who that woman's with. I'm a woman. I've never been pregnant. And I've never used birth control. It's not hard to avoid pregnancy. Says you're saying it like he kidnapped her and he's not deciding to date him back. So you're going back and forth with KMC. This whole Gunna situation and Tyla, I don't care who Tyla's with. I'm talking about this Tyla situation now because I want South African colored people to know that they do have allies out here in America. And that right now you have mulatto Americans. I'm a millennial, but the generation younger, okay, their voices are going to be amplified. We're making a distinction between us and the Afrocentric pro-blacks. We're making a distinction now. And we get a lot of hate for doing that. But you can imagine what the hate they're giving Tyla. She's a young woman too, right? I don't know, Gen Z, if I'm not mistaken. But like what I'm doing here is just giving colored people their just due because I feel like I can help a lot of people in my audience as well. With your guys' testimony, the colored testimony, I can help educate people and spread awareness. That's the whole goal. And also I'm learning myself while I'm doing this. That's the whole fun part about it is I get to learn and, listen and share experiences with different people. So men can't get you pregnant. Looking at you. Why is this guy so mad? Oh man, you mad. You got a chip on your shoulder, man. Why are you so mad? Just let me be a pro whack and just mock you for being mixed, Don't say anything. See, that's part of their kind of culture, right? They want to be able to like mock you and slur you, and then they're going to turn around and they don't expect you to say nothing. And if you say something, oh, you light skinned and sassy. Why are you so mad? Oh man, you got some issues. I'm sitting here laughing at you people. I'm like, I don't deal with you like that. I got the Cash App. You can hit that Cash App. You can do that. It's not common for light-skinned or mixed women to date dark-skinned black men in and outside of Hollywood. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really focus on the celebrity gossip and drama and who's dating who. I don't really care. I focus more so on the rhetoric of people and what people spew, like a charlatan the fraud or what's the other, Bantu, Kendrick Lamar, and they talk this rhetoric, anti-mixed rhetoric. But you look at them, they're like, they got a mixed partner or a white partner. And so I'm sitting here looking at these people. I'm like, what? And they have an audience. They got people listening, buying their shit. And they don't get any pushback until now. I mean, even Rihanna intentionally had 2 kids. Yeah, but Rihanna's got money, right? Yeah. See, I don't really know how Gunna is, but I read he's an American rapper. His net worth is 4 million. I think she has 4 million and more American connections. Yeah. She's only using Gunna now to get into the market, and then she'll dump his ass, down the line. They don't force themselves on our culture. We don't accuse them of stealing our culture. What culture is that? I'd love to know. Found by a white man, a producer? You mean a white man capitalizing on black mixed artists? Yes, that's what they do. Gonna is to make her look down with the community. Yeah. Yeah, that's like that's what Drake did, right? Drake did all these collaborations with all these rappers to try to make it appear like he has some kind of street credibility. And that kind of didn't help him out in a sense because the same people he was doing his collabs with, they're turning on his ass, right? But yeah, that's part of the business. You want to add some legitimacy, right? To your brand, etc. They trick these women into having dark-skinned black men seed in them, and then they become undesirable by most men. I mean, I don't know. You tell me, is some sort of flex or upgrade when in fact it's just the opposite. Once she gets pregnant with one of their kids with the money, yeah. You sound like an idiot. Blacks love black that love where they from. If you rap about math, because you always been good at math, blacks will love the blacks. They'll love you. They love authenticity. They're just the nicest people. We talking about blacks, black American. I'm not talking about Ghanaians or South African blacks. Most of my critiques are from people that I'm kind of have intimate knowledge from, just studying them and their habitats for the past 30 plus years. So I don't know. You say I sound like an idiot. Blacks love black that love where they come from. Yeah. You're saying I sound like idiot, but it's funny because you're sitting here listening to me. I'm not listening to you. That's the beautiful part. Like you offer me nothing. You're here serving me, right? You're helping out the algorithm. You're in the chat. You're watching. So YouTube picks up that analytics and it's going to signal to other people and share the content with people, so like you're doing me a favor. I don't give a damn who you are, where you're at, or what you like. I don't care. Tyla would be classified as mixed in many parts of the world. She would mostly be classified as black in America. Yeah, you make a good point of that, for sure. Especially depending on how she acts. If she acts like a black, she'll, get treated like one for sure. Try explaining what mixed is to some people overseas. I usually just say, never mind. One Italian guy understand, but didn't believe me and said, quote unquote, be serious. So basically, she's yet to get her barbecue day pass. I don't know. Is she going to get her barbecue stain, barbecue card, or what they call the black pass? Yeah, the barbecue. I think I call it, the barbecue stain, cornbread grease, the black card, the barbecue day pass. Oh, yeah, because they call it a cookout. Isn't that their kind of euphemism or analogy for the cookout for black acceptance to get accepted by the former slaves? They have that analogy about the cookout. You're invited to a cookout. They're gonna invite their white massa to the cookout. Like Drake, what did Charlamagne say? Like, oh, you might as well just stay home. You biracials, you just stay home. I love it and I laugh. I love the fact that Charlatan, the fraud, says this because it proves everything I've been saying for the past 2 years on social media. And people will laugh. You're a bad guy. You're saying mean words. You haven't heard nothing yet, honest with you. Right? Wait till you hear me on Rumble. Then you're going to find out. And that's the thing. I laugh because I'm like, these people are telling you that you're not like them. He didn't say the Canadians don't come to the Juneteenth concert, charlatan. He literally said biracials stay home. I love it because biracials are some of the biggest fucking simps and suckers and cowards out here begging for black acceptance. I love it because most of my detractors are biracial, right? And usually they got bastard kids by a black pookie or something, or they're social justice warriors, or they're both. That's the worst kind of combination. Is they're not only a social justice warrior, but they also got like Pookie's left, kids. I'm like, that's like a horrible combination. So they're definitely going to be caping for the community. It's pretty bad. Mix is actually a thing in England, France, Australia, Canada. I didn't say all white nations or all nations, but it's a thing at the moment. Yeah. And it's growing worldwide, as you concluded here. In the UK and Portugal, there is a mixed classification. Yeah, no doubt. And they got already mulatto politicians, one of them up in Spain, right? And a mulatto prime minister in Wales. They're trying to blackwash him and paint him as like a black, it's a biracial guy, mulatto guy, and current prime minister of Wales and United Kingdom. And, you know, so yeah, we're all over, baby. We're all over the place. It says, I've had white people ask me if I was mixed. A lot of whites are hip to this. They aren't stupid. Of course they're not. I remember even back when I was like 18, 19, there was a Mexican guy. We were just talking, or I think actually, pause. He wasn't, I think he was some other country, maybe Ecuadorian. He was or Honduras or something. He was like Central American, but maybe he was mixed, half Mexican, half Honduras, whatever. But the guy, we're just talking. I was like, oh no, I'm mixed. I'm black and white or whatever. And the guy next to me is a white guy, white American, who looked at the Mexican guy, like telling him, oh, well, you can't tell. You don't know. You can't tell. It's obvious, right? He didn't even like include himself in a discussion, meaning he didn't really add his input or adding like a curiosity to say, what am I or what is he? He already knew right off the bat. The white guy was like telling the Spanish guy, I go, you can't even tell? Because I told him, oh, I'm mixed, right? And the white guy is like, you can't tell? So they know. It's not that they're all going to be vocal in public. That's just my personal experience. But like I said, I already gave a testimony on this stream earlier when I was up in Oregon. And this white lady was like, yo, you're mulatto, aren't you? I was like, yes, you're right. I am. This was like 2015, 2016. So yeah, people know. White men, white women in this country, United States, you travel around, people know, but there's still a lot of people who want to play dumb with you. You got here, it says, it's a big thing in England and Canada, has a huge Hapa population. All countries with more diversity where mixing can happen versus one raced people. Yeah. I was saying people from everywhere won't even understand the concept. Miss Choi puts, and unlike most Black Americans, I do have a passport. I do too. And have met people from other parts of the world. And surprisingly, a lot of people do ask if I'm mixed. I was asked if I was mixed by a Iranian. Yeah. Interesting. In countries that speak Portuguese and Spanish, the word mulatto is a common word to describe mixed folks, and it's not considered offensive. Exactly. And even they've had to update their definition when you type it in with Google, where it'll say offensive, outdated. They'll add extra emphasis and say, well, it's not considered offensive or outdated in other languages, meaning Spanish, Portuguese, French, right? The Romance languages. So it's only considered quote unquote offensive to in English nations or Dutch nations, and that's because of the Afrocentrics who want to weaponize the one drop rule to keep mulattoes as their subordinate class, right? And they already have a lot of influence in academia and the media, and they're hell-bent on enforcing this one drop rule. They're trying it with Tyla, a young woman, but I'd like to see where this stuff goes with this Tyla situation, where it goes in the future. A lot of places, actually, I don't even want people asking me anything anymore. Unfortunately, overseas, they play the guess your race game too. Right, so you corrected me. It's South A for South Africa. Yeah, all mixed people look different. If you look part black, it might be more obvious than you're a mixed German. Guessed I was Brazilian, which is very mixed place, so it counts. Yeah, I've had a Mexican guy in America think I was like Brazilian or Puerto Rican or something, so it does happen. A lot of people think I'm North African or Yemen. African women are confident. They don't hate being black, so they support her instead of seeing her as an enemy. That's a good point. And it's also because of the they have pride themselves, right? They don't see her as an enemy. They look at her as like, oh, she could possibly be an potential ally of some sort, right? Or just they understand the nuances. But that's, remember, you're talking about different cultured people, and it's in Africa where they have culture. where you're not dealing with like the slave culture, right? Where they pretend to be Indian and pretend to be Moors and all this other stuff, right? You put here African black women love Tyla. They see as colored. They love her. Dark skinned black women in the USA see her as mixed. They hate her because all the dark skin. Yeah, this is the dynamic you're pointing out, right? With like the exoticals and Chrissy, where they're both the exoticals and Chrissy. They're fighting for the dark skinned black male gaze. They want the attention from the dark skinned black men. The exoticals and Chrissy, that's what they're fighting, right? And the biracial baby mamas, they're in there too somewhere because they got dark skinned black male baby daddies. And that's what they're fighting for. So in the USA, like you said, they see her as mixed, but they hate her because they know that the dark skinned black male will prefer the mixed woman over the black woman, dark skinned black woman, right? Because of colorism. But yeah, that's the key thing, right? Is that that's the key thing is that it's basically going to be a competition that they're having for the dark skinned black male, right? The gaze, meaning they want the attention from that individual, and they can do their whole decentering man content and all this crap. And we already know what time it is, right? They're all arguing over the same guys. Charlatan knew very well what color it is, but Trevor Noah already went on their show. That's a good point, DC. Thank you for sharing that. You make a very good point because they already had a South African guy in on that platform, which was which was Trevor Noah, and who's biracial, not colored. And Trevor Noah already publicly said that on the show what a colored person is, and also in his book, which I read his book. He publicly said he's not a colored person, he's biracial, but colored is a real identity, real culture there. So you're right, Charlatan the fraud. See, that's why we know that he's a typical Afrocentric pro-whack trying to attack a mixed person and like harass them and haze them into accepting being a pro-whack, right? Or being underneath the blacks. That's what Charlatan's doing, right? When he's talking about, oh, black ass Kendrick at Juneteenth, oh, they not like us. That's all it is. If you called someone colored here, they'd call you racist and cry. That proves how different the culture views race and the use of words. Exactly. Yeah. They called someone colored, you know, like that's how they used to call blacks here in America, right? They say Negroed or colored. That was actually a term that people would use pretty commonly. It was colored, right? Here in America. Did they have signs like during like the pre-segregation, or I should say pre-integration period? They had signs that said colored water fountains or colored restroom. All you coloreds use, the bathrooms over there. So yeah, a lot of the African Americans were referred to as colored, but that was a while ago before I was born, right? Whites label mixed folks as mixed because that's what we are. Colored and mulatto are not offensive words. Exactly. You get it. I get it. But a lot of people want to, muddy the waters and play stupid so they can try to trick us to basically position us to march back, onto the Blackistan plantation. The funny part is dark-skinned black men do not realize, unlike them, we could care less what white men think of us. Good point. And I like you make these valid points where they always talk about, well, the white police. I'm cool with the white cops, right? The white police, they gonna see you, man. They gonna treat you like you a nigga. Because when the white cops pull you over, like, I'm cool with the white cops. I'm cool with all cops. I don't care what their race is. I'm pro law enforcement. I'm pro law and order. The fuck? I'm not hanging out with you savages in the hood. I don't deal with you people. Straight up. I don't give a damn what you think. I'm not that's not my culture. Right? But yeah, they're going to tell you what the whites think about me. Yeah, there's a lot of people who, it doesn't matter if they're white or Asian or whatever. A lot of people think a lot of bad things about me. Okay, keep thinking it. Okay. But yeah, I'm not affected by what people think about me. Unless that individual has power, then I have to kind of position myself in a different way. If you're dealing with people who don't have any power, it's like, what are they, I hate the Breakfast Club, but I have to watch this interview. We do not cater to black men, nor do we cater to white men. We do not bow, nor fear, nor want to be either. Exactly. We're mulattoes are not the same as these other individuals. I don't understand when people get pressed for calling myself mulatto because in my country of origin, it's not offensive. Yeah. Your country of origin, you said you're from Angola. So you're living in America now. Now they whine and cry, right? Those colonizers wreck them and continue to do so quietly. Yeah, they're conquered by their colonizer, right? Kind of sad. All the information of what a colored is literally on the internet. Honestly, most coloreds are tired of explaining. Yeah, I give you that for sure. Yeah, there's a gentleman on TikTok. I didn't share his video today. I shared it on my other stream talking about colored, but I like his TikTok page. He definitely reps colored people in his identity. He's a colored guy. And I think his explanations are very clear and articulate, and he lays it out there pretty well. I mean, I watched the video clip. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's spot on. He's spot on with his description. So yeah, the information's already here, and I get it. You're just tired of explaining. It's the same thing with me, like explaining the word mulatto to people. I'm like, I'm just already kind of over it when people put stupid ass comments like, "You're calling yourself a mule." It's like, okay, you call yourself the N word. Okay, okay, have a good day. I'm not like you people. I don't know what else to say. I'm mulatto. It's not the same as you. It's too bad most Black Americans are so stupid. That's your words, not mine. But yeah, you're a real one, right? This behavior is creating more neo-Nazi types of whites. African Americans never wanted equality. They wanted they wanted to dominate, yeah, over the mulattoes, right? No other race on the planet will allow them to be above them. It's only the mulattoes who are so cowardly and so cucked and punked that they'll allow Black Americans to be over them. No other race would accept that. Even a minority race that will come into America, like a Asian or Arabic or Middle Eastern, they'll come to America. They would never allow Blacks to be over them. Nobody in this nation, the Hispanics, they got their weight up, they got their numbers up. They will not allow Blacks to be up over them. No race will do that in this land. It's only the mulattoes, only the biracials who are begging Blacks for acceptance for their hood pass in Blackistan, the only people who will allow themselves to be punked and cucked and underneath them and be dominated. That's really what it is, right? And because I'm different, I'm trying to create some balance out here. I'm not following in line with that, standard operating procedure. I got to be the bad guy because, I can't live with myself being underneath another group of men like that. Black people should be worrying about idiots like the singer Brian McKnight, who openly said he hates his Black children but loves his adopted Filipino children. That's good. I mean, when I say that's good that you pointed this out. That's what I meant to say. It's good that you pointed this out. I'm already 2.5 hours deep into this. I'm just blabbing at this point, but it's good that you pointed this out because I want to look into that because I didn't know about this, and I'm very thankful and happy you shared this with me. So now when I'm finished with this stream, I can go back and rewind and look in, and I can do some research. I'm not going to look at it right now, but Brian McKnight, I wasn't aware that he openly said he doesn't even like his own kid, his biological kids, but he likes his adopted kids. I didn't know that, but it's believable. But I do need to go look into that because that's interesting information. How would that be possible when you are still a pet? Interesting. Blackistan wants to erase color identity, which will never happen. You can't let it happen. That's why we need more voices like you. The link is dropped. I mean, I got a couple coloreds in the house. You guys can jump up here. I know it's kind of early morning for you guys, but I'm doing this for you. I saw your guys' comments. I know DC and Elroy Swartz put that comment in there, and I'm want to give you guys a voice over here because I want to learn. Like I said, it's not only for me, but also my audience. I have a lot of Americans where we want to hear from you guys and help amplify your voice. Remember the good old days before CCTV was everywhere and ring cams? I know, huh? You make a good point. Remember the good old days before CCTVs? Now you have video footage of all the thefts and all the crimes and all the savagery, but you just in real time, like, and I don't report on that stuff. You know how easy it is for me to do that? There's social media pages, like I'll just say one, it's Asia Dawn. Asia Dawn. Now they promote it's Asian centered, clearly the name Asia Dawn, but they report a lot of crime that happens against Asians. We need to have that type of network, which it will happen eventually. I'm speaking it into existence. We need to have this type of network, this type of, grievance hotline, and we need to report these crimes that happen against mulattoes, whether it's blacks committing crimes on mulattoes or whites committing crimes on mulattoes or Latinos committing crimes on mulattoes, etc. We need to report these crimes. But Asian Dawn does that. But a lot of crimes that are happening against Asians, a lot of blacks are committing crimes, either theft, they're stealing from their stores, and there's all this, their whole social media. They got a large page on, TikTok or on Twitter and Instagram, and they got a bunch of views, a big audience, and like all this video footage of CCTVs and cameras of like a lot of black people committing these crimes. I'm like, the information, the footage is out there, and I don't even share this crap on my channel. I'm just strictly giving the mulatto perspective of how trying to encourage mulattoes to understand you're your own independent entity, that you don't need them, they need you. They're not offering you a good deal, so you have to renegotiate that, or just don't deal with them. Go somewhere else and get a better deal elsewhere. That's what I'm doing, pushing sovereignty and autonomy. But I could report all this crime stuff. You really think I'm bad now, you wanted me to report all the crime and share with you guys what's really going on. To be black in America, you need to be half colonizer. Um, Whites have not pushed mixed people are black in USA, yeah, for the past 30 years. I remember white men asked me when I was younger, why did my driver's license say you are black? Because you're not. Yeah. Yeah, they basically stopped upholding that one. Like, I remember when I was a kid, and even as an adult, a couple occasions, different occasions, where it was white people, white males specifically, who, like, there was like a racial incident, but they didn't call me the N word. They called me a slur for Hispanics. They called me the S word. It's like they don't call blacks that word, right? They call racially ambiguous people that word, right? It's the same thing in Canada where I live. We have fewer blacks in Canada, but they all support Asian, Indian, Arab businesses. Aside from food businesses, blacks support everyone else. Like, that's what it is. That's what it is. Same in America. Yeah, that's precisely what it is. Say black America has such a deep-rooted inferiority complex, and they project it onto others. Exactly, especially if you're mixed. You know that. You can look in the news, look at social media. If you're multiracial, you're mixed, you have some African ancestry, but you also have Dutch ancestry or Indian or etc., whatever ancestry. Like, that. You examine them. Like, they feel inferior about themselves, and they need to weaponize that one drop rule to kind of bring you into their crab bucket to make themselves feel better. It's very unfortunate. I'm just not playing with it, right? I know blacks don't see us as black, which is why they refer to blacks in front of me as, you said, apes and N words. Interesting. The reason I don't say anything is because black Americans call us mutts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, and what really, like, examining those pro-black circles, right? When they would use the term half breeds, they would say mutts as well, or half breeds. I was like, these savages, you're not my people. They've literally positioned themselves as your opposition. Like, the language they were using to label you, right? You're a half breed or this or that. I was like, I'm cool. I'm gonna go get some half breeds, and we're gonna be good. We've been good since the beginning of this nation. We're gonna continue to be good. I'm just gonna give the information to them to let them know, hey, these people over there, they're not your people. And if you want to be with that, go have fun over there. Have fun. But yeah, I already got my wake up call. I was like, yeah, these aren't my people. So Kendrick was right. He's right. Not like us. I'm not like you. He was absolutely right. White people no longer push mixed people as black. That's over. It's been over. Like the other guy's older gentleman, I think he's in his 50s, KMC. He said that's like 30 years ago. Yeah, it's been over. That whole one drop rule shit has been done with for a minute. And I already have my own personal testimony, as I've already explained on this stream, right? I won't be defending any blacks when they casually use racial slurs towards people like me. Exactly. I don't either. The real issue is only people calling MLS black is dark-skinned black men, but those men are not calling MLS men black. They're calling you put our MLS women. I don't know. They're not really yours, right? They're not mine either. There's no ownership. The women have free will. And I think that's what the blacks they're dealing with right now, because they realize that the women in their group have more power than the men, right? That's why they have this gender war. They're trying to figure it out. So MLS women back to lower the women's status for sex only. Yeah, a concubine, a Jezebel, a harlot, which is a whole history in the United States of that. But in, Civil War era, even before and after, a lot of those women, they're basically prostitutes for white men, right? In a lot of ways, you see the same thing now being promoted with the exoticals. They're still promoting the being prostitutes for white men, right? Where they're pro OnlyFans models and pro this, right? And it's like, it's the same situation where it's like whoring yourself out, leveling up for a buck for a white guy, right? Okay. All right. Have fun. That's your reputation. It's been that way for years. Okay. Have fun. You don't create communities like that. It's very selfish in a way. It's, they can pretend it's for the community, but whatever. It's a grift. We all get it. When black people throw shade to us mixed people, I always clap back and start calling me racist. So that means I'm not black. Yeah. If you're mixed, you're not black. Well, all blacks are mixed. Okay, I don't care. You're not like me. I meant whites say those things, but I don't care at all. I'm not offended. Right? You put it right here. Calling that man an albino, but I shared with you guys, isn't that what the Prince of Papa John's Pizza, Dr. Umar, says too? He called Seti albino to diss the light-skinned guy. He's like, you an albino, right? Says, I'm literally African, Dutch, English, and French. I don't know how to pronunciation. West Asian and Indian, excuse me. Do they expect me to forget all that? Exactly. They want you to. They want you to just say, well, because they're black supremacists. So they want you to just acknowledge the black part and disassociate from your other heritage and culture and identity, right? That's literally what they're telling you. Like Charlatan the Fraud and some of these other Afrocentrics, they're literally telling you, just identify with the blacks and just be a black supremacist, be pro-black. Like, how are you going to convince someone of that, like, who's level-headed or balanced, or they've had good influence from other people in their life? They're just supposed to just ignore all of that and just be pro-black. I don't get it. Like, and they've been able to successfully do that with some people, but I feel like moving forward in the future, it's not really going to be as effective. A man putting pretty in his username, and it looks like he's wearing shiny lip gloss. You notice that too. He's got his lips all puckered up, and his handle name was like Pisces Puppet, if I recall. Yeah, Pisces Puppet. I got it right here. Let me share. Yeah, he's a Fruit Loop, right? He's a Fruit Loop, but he's pro-black, and look at he's hating on a light-skinned guy, right? Look at this guy, pretty. He's a male, a man. Like I said, I'm not pretty. Okay, I don't want to be pretty. I'm a dude. Okay, that's not my job to be pretty. But according to this male, right, talking about the colonizer who he works for, by the way, calling himself pretty, right? Because he's got puckered lips. You say it looks like his lips got like lip gloss and shit. You can tell by looking at it, man. Like in the name, you already know what's up with this dude. He's got what they say he's got like sugar in his tank. I think that's the analogy people say. He's got sugar in his tank. And his handle said something about Pisces, a puppet. Even that alone is really weird. Like, why would you put puppet in your title? That's like a subordinate type of like title as a puppet, right? It's like a guy like he likes what they say the top or the bottom. He likes the bottom position basically. That's what it implies when you have the word puppet, Pisces puppet in your fucking, handle. It doesn't look good to a guy like me. I'm looking at it like it's very suspect. No, but the guy's talking shit about this dude being light skinned, calling him albino. But see, this racism, that's acceptable with these people in their community. That's why you got to get the fuck away from them. Because if you're mixed, man, they're gonna hate on your ass. The guy I am currently seeing is half Arab, and that's what I call him. He's half Arab, half black, mixed race man. I say that because it's the truth. Yeah. Umar likes chicken. Yeah. No, we are not single mama makers, skin chasers, self-inflicted victimizers, menace to our own community like they are. So, not like us is a compliment. Yeah. Well, who's gonna do the like not like us like remix? Who's gonna do that? We have any rappers out here? Who's gonna do a not like us remix, letting them know, yeah, I'm not part of your group? Who's gonna do that? The king of the pro wax. TikTok is a s-hole on there. Blacks are saying only black people can be albino. Yeah. He said mixed people need to pick a side. Who said that? Oh, Dr. Umar. I always tell them not the losers. I don't pick the losing side. Right. And then they'll still try to like talk you down or kind of convince you or something. They're not going to accept you. I don't give a fuck what they accept. I'm talking to you right now. Like you're telling me to pick a side. I'm not on your side, bro. I don't know you people. You're not my people. I don't have kids by you. I'm not indebted to you. Okay. There was this black woman telling albino white women she was trying to copy blacks by being albino. Whites can be albino. Yeah, Asians, everyone can be albino. I met a white albino when I worked in a bookstore. He was stunning and very handsome. They can easily Google information albinoism. Yeah, I did a stream talking about albinoism, right? Yeah, it's very easily can verify that. What the hell? A black woman said that about MLS and albino are not the same thing. Yeah. No, it's not the same thing. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Why did he call him a corn dog? Because he's thinking about dogs. He's thinking about corn dogs, if you know what I mean. You could tell by looking at his picture. So it's like, yeah. Yeah, and you put it right here too, basically. Yeah, a man saying, hey, he's pretty, like a pretty boy or something like that. Is, kind of a dead giveaway, right? A study genetics, you say you study genetics. Every race can produce albinos. Technically, whites aren't really white. The only white people are really albinos. They are literally white. Interesting. Good point. I've seen some white people that are like orange, like the current, or not the current, but the potential candidate, Donald Trump. People will call him orange and shit because he has like a spray tan. But I remember like when I was at Huntington Beach a few times, actually, yeah, I've seen a couple different chicks who are like tanning or whatever, surfer chicks on the beach. But yeah, they looked fucking orange. Like, no, they're white women, Caucasian, but like their complexion didn't really look white. They looked orange. I don't know. You guys help me out on that. Like the skin tone, kind of, it literally looked orange. He wasn't even pretty anyway. I don't know. Because he gave his favorite rapper a low album score review. Interesting. Whites can't be albino because they produce red hair, light brown, medium hair. They can be very. There are some white albinos. There's actually there are definitely white albinos. They have white hair. Yeah, they exist. So yes, whites can 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 be albino. Yeah. Yeah, and then the albinos that I saw that were Caucasian, they didn't have any hair color. They had white hair. You can just do a little Google search and it'll verify that as well. right? I know there's a famous blues musician. I forgot his name. White albino blues musician. Is a guitar player. Johnny Winter. That's his name. Johnny Winter. He's a white albino. Let me share this. So they in fact do have white albinos. This guy here, Johnny Winter, white hair, pale skin. And this is just this guy. Johnny Winter. Now this is like Bantu features. This Bantu features. What about this? Albino man doesn't appear to be Bantu. This person here. Yeah. No, there is white albino people. Have I met them? No, I haven't met them, but I've seen them. Like I said, the images I shared in media. And there was a documentary that was done on the albinos in like in Zimbabwe area. And one of the narrators was a white albino guy. I think it was probably BBC if I can do. Yeah. Albino. You can probably find, I think one of the reporters was, okay, I don't need to look at it right now. I'll just get through the comments, but yeah. The one drop rule is outdated and holds absolutely no relevancy in modern society. Exactly. It was made in the 19th century. That's the critical thing. 100 years ago. A lot changes in 100 years. Look at how advanced technology has become in 100 years. Space exploration, satellites, rocket ships, submarines, GPS, global positioning satellite, the World Wide Web, internet, all this advanced technology that's advancing very quickly, artificial intelligence. So the one drop rule, this archaic, flawed paradigm, that was 100 years ago. Communication, transportation with airplanes, technology, these things are advancing very quickly. So they're still trying to hold on to this 19th century paradigm in this modern world. It's up to people to challenge it. A guy like me and people like you, okay, independent voices, it's up to us to challenge it, right? You put these Blackistanis, yeah, it's funny, right? Are still trying to enforce it, yeah, because they need the numbers. Especially, it's interesting dynamic because you're in South Africa, right, where the blacks are the majority there, right? But in the United States, blacks are the minority, and they look at it as the only way for them to increase their numbers is by trying to include multiracials into their group to give them a numerical advantage, because there's clear lines of distinction between the blacks in America and all these other ethnic groups, Asian, Chinese, or even like say East Indian or Arabic, etc., and white, Latinos. Like all these other groups are already defined in the society we're in. So they want to enforce that one drop rule to give themselves more political power, because they want the multiracials to be a minority in their group, giving them political clout, boosting up their numbers, and also to give them a subordinate class they can pick on to make themselves feel better about themselves. So, but you have guys like me that are like, nah, I'm not having it. It's too bad. Mulatto MLS men channel scared dark-skinned black men because we're telling the truth, unlike MLS women who cater to them. Yeah, but you can't generalize. The thing is, I know you talk about that dynamic a lot, the men, the women, the MLS, and all that stuff. Look, you can't generalize that much, but you do like support the women who support you in your cause. But we do have to be careful. My biggest flaw and defect is I tend to generalize Blackistan, right? My critiques. And I can publicly admit that is kind of a flaw of mine, is I do tend to overgeneralize. And hopefully I will be a lot better at not overgeneralizing in the future, the near future, right? Be more professional and polished, but whatever, the internet lives lives forever. And but with the women's situation, like there's a lot of MLS, you say mixed or light skinned women that are if they're not doing mixed content, if they're doing other content, like I follow some vloggers that are mixed women where they're doing lifestyle vlogging and stuff, they're not catering to dark skinned blacks. Like it's very obvious. You look at their material, even if they share like their friends, their circle, who they're hanging out with, like they're not catering to dark skinned blacks. So, but if you're using your frame of reference for like the golden sphere, yeah, it's not going to be as accurate because that's a very small niche space. And the golden sphere was basically a space for black identified mixed people and light skins. They all tried to lump them in the same group. And you had, biracial baby mamas that had black baby daddies. And then you had these light skinned guys that would complain because the light skinned women didn't want them. It's like, I don't know why they're on the internet complaining, when there's a whole world of people out here, they can easily just move around and travel, navigate and get what they want. But I don't like to generalize about how these say that MLS women who cater to the blacks, like that's not all of them. The ones who do, a lot of them, they're fucking losers. Like what's happening to what's her name? Jessica X. Remember her? Biracial lady from England, Jessica X. Remember her? She's like a black manosphere woman, biracial, and she had nothing but blacks on her channel, dark skinned blacks. What the fuck happened to her? Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. Yeah. So to me, that's basically a non-factor. No one cares about these people. Let the yeah, whatever. Why would good-looking mulattoes MLS bow down to them? I don't know. Because they're punks. I don't know. I grew up in Florida, so I had diversity of my peers, and yes, black American home. That's another gay black man. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I swear they hate mixed people more than anyone. They're obsessed with being the pretty one. Yeah. Mulattoes, mixed men here, me are not competing with black men for anything. You have zero we cannot get for ourselves. In fact, they have never helped us. We are competing. I'm not even competing with white men or any man. I'm competing with myself to be better. I'm competing with myself to get the motivation to get my ass up and go to the gym. I'm competing with myself to do these YouTube streams, try to produce the best content that you guys can relate to, you guys can engage with and find value. I want you guys to see value in what I'm saying and affirm it, to give inspiration and hope, to be a voice for people who feel like they don't have a voice. Like I'm competing with myself to be a better individual. I'm not competing with these other men. I want to do my best to collaborate with other men to build networks, to build communities that serves the next generation. So that's the way I see it. Mix and mulatto doesn't mean I don't want to be white. I am white. I'm not black. No, mulatto means you're mixed. You're mulatto. By saying you're mulatto, you're saying you're just as much white as you are black. And that's why people have an issue with that. They want you to just say, oh, you're just a black. That just like erases the fact that you have a white mom or a white dad or you're mixed or something. Like, no. Like they want you to fall for that con game. What it is they don't want you to tell them that you're not black. They want to be able to tell you you're not black. They want the right of refusal. They want the ability to outgroup you whenever it benefits them because they want to use you as a tool, a crash test dummy for their political, reasons. They don't want you to have that autonomy. You're taking influence away from them. They don't like that because they're already powerless as it is, right? So if you're going to make them feel even more powerless, they're going to get very uppity. He would give up his barbecue pass to be as pale as albino. Wow. Get your barbecue pass. I love that analogy. Because to talk about that, the black pass. I say barbecue stained. I don't know. I think it's funny. Cornbread grease and barbecue stained black pass. Everyone has that pass. Like, right? They give that to everybody. But they only gatekeep blackness with the mulattoes. And that's something the mulattoes, a lot of them haven't figured out yet. The ones over here, they understand that with this Kendrick Lamar, you notice how charlatan, a fraud. He didn't say the Canadians don't come to the concert, the Mexicans don't come, the Asians or white. He didn't even say the white people don't come to his little blackety black ass concert. He specifically said biracials don't come. I'm trying to tell these mulattoes, these biracials, they only play that game with you. They only want to gatekeep blackness over you because they look at you as their subordinate class. Nobody else will put up with their ass. Nobody else will accept a position underneath them, trying to be down with their little hood and trying to be cool. Nobody else cares about them like that. Like, it's only you biracials who feel like you need them when it's really them who needs you. It's kind of sad, honestly. Yeah. What's the difference between North Florida and South Florida? Now, I know South Florida is heavy, I think demographic wise, Latino population. They have in like the Miami area, Hollywood, they have Little Hialeah, Cuban kind of ethnic enclave. So I guess that would be the main distinction, maybe the ethnic demographics. But I'm interested to know, like, industry wise or business wise, because you have NASCAR and sports market throughout the state, right? Tampa, Miami, and Orlando. You have tourism with Disney World. And what other industries besides tourism, besides sports, entertainment, tourism in Florida? I should know this, should I? I've been to Florida a couple times. Not alone, many MLS women, capers, saviors who are willing to become bottom feeders. I know you focus on that a lot. I've seen you around the comments for a minute. And I'm telling you, you just don't deal with these women. I know you're an older cat and shit too. But as soon as you, like, for me, I've seen this with social media. Like, there's women on TikTok, all go beautiful, good looking mulatto woman, just the perfect hair, curly haired mulatto, all this stuff. And I go to her TikTok, her live, and I'm seeing nothing but black simps in there. The same comments, gassing her up, gassing her ego up. Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so good, light skin, curly hair, and what they're really saying is, I want to make you a baby mama so other men, you know, won't compete to try to get her, right? So, like, but I see these women, I see the comment, I just like exit. I'm like, okay, let me go do something else. Let me find something. I don't want to sit here and watch this individual and it's got nothing but black guys in the chat. Like, that's my sign to kind of get out of there, go somewhere else, right? So it's very easy to avoid them. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's you should already like know this, right? You're an older cat, right? I think you're 50 or something. Like, you're kind of saying what we already know. Like, a lot of them, the ones who want to be bottom feeders or they're like baby mamas, just like leave them alone. All right. But what they'll do, see, this is the thing is, they'll try to like take jabs at you or start shit with you. There's a couple of them on YouTube. They'll try to spread false allegations and start shit with me. But once I clap back and clown their ass, then they want to cry victim, right? And a lot of people who've been around it long enough, they already know the game. They see it for what it is. But like, I don't engage with these individuals. But if they like start shit and then they get cooked, as they say, and then they'll cry victim and stuff. It's like, you've already let me know that you're against light-skinned men or you're against mixed men, even though you're a mixed light-skinned woman. You've already let me know your position. I'm just not going to deal with you. There's too many women out here. Like, I already have enough women on my social media who are mixed mulatto who already support what I'm doing. I'm good. Like, I don't care about the bottom feeders. The hypocrisy is that these people will alter their appearance to look mixed but hate us at the same time. Yeah, skin bleaching and stuff, right? Yeah, skin bleaching and all that. It's pretty sad, right? Northwest, you saying Jacksonville. Black people have even lost their ability to roast properly. That shit isn't even funny. You probably talk about that fruity dude. Well, he was like a dork, right? So I mean, he didn't even have a following either. I was going to his page. Like I said, I kind of scrolled through his stuff and I saw that one albino corn dog comment. I was like, okay, let me bring this up here because this will, basically reaffirm what I've already suspected. But He didn't even have a following. Like, people aren't following that guy like that, you know? So Kenneth Roast, yeah. I haven't been there in a while. I missed the landing and I've meaning to visit to go to World of Nations. You know. Okay, I dropped that link. That link's been dropped. I'm just going through all these comments. This is a community service, guys. I'm already 3 hours deep into this, giving you guys what you want. And feet nails done, carrying their own purses in public. Yeah. The Bantus will cry you are a colorist and all the is and isms if you go for their features. But they go for your features, and that's okay. They can call you albino. They can say you're bald head. Like, there's people who like swear up and down that like they're defending black people like with the featureism and texturism, but the same individuals will turn right around and talk shit about you because of your texture or your lack of texture because you're bald. That's the same shit. Like, they're gonna laugh at you for your hair or lack of hair, but they're defending black women's hair. It's really madness, the levels of hypocrisy. But see, because they feel like they're allowed to be racist. They feel like they can be racist. And this is why, because the mulattoes, the ones over here, we get it, but the ones in other places, they're still, trying to find like a safe seat at the table in Blackistan, basically. So they'll play around with those at the futurists and isms and all this other crap. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's cool if they can hate your ass. But once you kind of give it back, then people want to cry. The same stuff. Their jokes don't stick. Yeah. They project because they're feminized. Feminize these. You put, yeah, but corn dog isn't funny at all. Would have been made funny by blacks from before for that one. You put the Diddy treatment. Who's gonna get that Diddy treatment? Who's gonna get that? Because now you know what the Drake treatment is gonna be for the biracial men, okay, or the mixed men. We could say multiracial because they lump us all in together. I shared with you guys. I did the Creole like video, okay, a couple days ago. I got another one coming up. And where like the Creole Lady Marmalade was defending this Creole woman, but blacks I saw on Twitter were hating on the Creole woman. They were saying, "Oh, I don't trust these ambiguous mixed mulatto Creoles. They put us all in the same group, right?" So when I say Drake, yeah, biracial or mulatto, whatever, like the Drake treatment is when the black culture, the men and women, okay, not all of them, but a large portion of them team up together under pro-blackness to try to humble and attack a mixed man who's better than them, right? But then you have the Diddy treatment, as you put here. You put she's gonna get Diddy treatment. I'm not sure who you're mentioning or you're referencing which female, but the Diddy treatment. What does that mean? It could mean a lot of things. I'm just basically kind of generally gonna define it where it's a mixed woman, the preference, who chooses to. I'm not saying Cassie did this, but what I'm saying is like we're just gonna generalize and say like a mixed woman who chooses to slander and hate on a mixed man because he's mixed and light skin, even though she's mixed and light skin. But she does that to gain favor with a dark skinned man, black man, to get acceptance into the black community. Once she's done that, then the black man knows that she doesn't have a home. She's powerless. She's alienated her allies. So now the black man feels like he has ownership over her. He's going to like literally physically abuse her. Like as you saw Diddy do that. And then once the woman gets tired of it, she runs and she cries and she realizes, the mixed guys aren't going to defend her or stick up for her because they saw she was talking crap about them for all these years. Like that's the Diddy treatment. Basically what the black guys who feel like they own the mixed women, they turn on the women, right? You guys tell me, you guys have a better definition, a more proper definition, because I'm just generally speaking like the Diddy treatment, that sounds pretty accurate. Like you're going to get treated like a lot of them, they treat their preferences. Once they realize you have no allies, you have no support system, You basically dogged out and talked shit to all the men who could have been your ally. And then it's like, then they feel like they got you. They can do to you what they do to their own women, right? Every 5.5 hours, right? Yeah. That's funny. You put this comment twice. You got to be the fallback ninja, though. There are no other groups of people Black Americans get along with, even themselves. It's them who are the problem. Yeah, yeah. Like they haven't established fair equal trade. Other groups, like because they're basically a consumer base for Asians in America, right? East Indian, Chinese, Vietnamese, you name it, Korean. The Black Americans are a consumer base. It means they go to their establishments, even Arabs and Arabic businesses. East Indian, like they go to their businesses and give them money, support them. Even in France, there's a mulatto. I don't know if it's Miss Choi in the chat, but someone else was telling me. I think it was a mulatto gentleman who was telling me even in like Paris, in France, it's a similar situation where they're basically the blacks are supporting the businesses of these other Asian groups, right? Giving them their money, yeah, because they're the consumer base for them. And it's not the other way around. The Asians and Hispanics, and they only go to black people for like entertainment, right? And maybe the occasional tow truck driver or something like that, or food delivery service worker. That's it. Like they're not going to them for like essentials at all. They want Tyla to give up her identity. I hope she doesn't. I'm pretty sure she won't. I'm honestly hoping she won't. It looks like she won't. And let's just continue to let her know that, hey, we're out here, we support her. And I know for colored people for sure. Let her know you support her. You guys are, and I like that. To be fair, Kendrick didn't actually defend R. Kelly, but that Spotify shouldn't take down his music, something like that. Because he also did the same for X, Florida rapper as well. Once you almost woman, I think you put this already. Stepdaddy, you're going in on that specific thing. Doja had said saying, yeah, didn't do nothing. That was one of her songs, right? They didn't like her for that. They really hate it when when their preference doesn't prefer them. They really hate that, right? They try to do that with me saying I must have a white mom. You put mom. Well, you're in Portugal, right? Okay. And that's why I'm not pro whack. I hit them with the biggest Uno reverse card and say both my parents are mulattoes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they always push that your black mom. The reason why, because the black community is a matriarchy, mostly black in America. There's mostly black women. I don't have the stats directly in front of me, but like as far as the numbers, but yeah, it's mostly black women that represent black America, just not only numerically, but culture wise, the households, the even administrators and government and in businesses, they talk in college degrees and there's the metrics go on and on about how the community, they talk about the backbone of the black community is black women, how they basically are the community. So that's why they really push this whole white mom thing, because they realize if you were raised by a white woman, that your value system is going to be different than a black woman, right? You're enculturated differently, which I'm okay with. Like I'm a mature man. I realize I'm in a position now I can literally just build my own farm, build my own house. You know, I'm not literally, I mean, I'm growing. I got some vegetables in the backyard. I'm growing food, but like I can build my own stuff. I can create my own situation, cultivate a culture, encourage people to, you know, join in the discussion. I can do so many things as far as networking where I can create my own situation. I don't need the approval of blacks. Like all this white mom thing, like I'll never sell out my white mom to make blacks happy. But there are biracial people who will do that, and it's very sad. So the ones who do that, they can stay over there in Blackistan, okay? And Plan B, $50. Yeah, contraceptive. Yeah, good morning. Got another South African colored. I just got home from work. It's just after 7. Yeah, it's early for you guys, right? South Africa, listening attentively, appreciate it. Shout out South Africa. Let me see. We got yeah, I got a couple colored folks in the house. This is for you guys too, and this stream. I mean, I want to do this more regularly, give you guys your fair, basically, representation the best I can. I'm not colored, but I feel like we need your voices amplified, as I've already said on the stream. I've met white South Africans. I've met black South Africans. I've met East Indian South Africans here in America, specifically in California, where I'm from, but I've never met a colored South African. And I would like to meet some. And I've met a lot of you guys, men and women, via social media, but I just feel like I want to hear more about your guys' story. I see a lot of connection to what's going on with multiracials in America and other places as well. Canada, England, etc. So I think we could all kind of work towards something and relate in a way. She doesn't the community to sell her records. Yeah, she doesn't need them, right? She doesn't need them. She could sell her music to Latinos. She did, like, I played the song. She did a collab with like a Mexican artist. I think it's Becky G is her name. So she doesn't need them. Like, she can just collab and network with other people and grow her fan base, right? Yeah, once white people listen to your music, you're set. Exactly. Like I said with Drake, I gave that example with Drake. Like, once white people are listening, but that's kind of what happened with Kendrick, because white people started listening to Kendrick Lamar, but it kind of gassed him up. Excuse me. It kind of got to his head a little bit with Kendrick, because now he thinks he's too big for his britches, right? Remember, he went to Denmark, cheated on his mixed queen for some white cream. Remember in the song with Drake, right? He went to Denmark and got with some white woman there. And Kendrick has a lot of white people who like his music, a lot of dorky, dumb white people in America who want to be hip and down with the blacks, and they listen to Kendrick. I saw this shit in college, man. There's a white guy in one of my classes was caping for Kendrick, and this was a while ago. This was like 8 years ago. I remember this guy. And I, even back then, I was like, I don't even listen to Kendrick, man. If you got guys like him listening to Kendrick saying it's woke music and he's conscious, I'm like, I don't even want to listen to that fake shit, because they've already promoted and propped up Kendrick to be a pro whack. Like, his whole marketing ploy and hood persona is about being a conscious rapper from the streets of Compton who's pro black. That was literally the marketing gimmick they went with to promote him. He's married to a mixed woman, but he hates on the man for being mixed, Drake. You can't make this shit up. This is the fuckery we see in America, and you wonder why other nations, they don't respect these Americans, because they see this level of confusion. They're like, how can you pretend to be the moral compass of the world when you're promoting these black supremacists who hate themselves and they want to dilute themselves by marrying into whites, marrying into mixed women? But they're so pro-black. Like, you're the black messiah, but you're married to a mixed queen. Like, how can you respect that type of shit? So I've already known for years that I was dealing with the fraud when I'm looking at Kendrick. You put, oh, look at Sierra, Russell Wilson. Yeah, Russell Wilson. Yeah. Sierra is a Pookie's leftovers, right? Says, my theory is why dark-skinned black men say mixed people are black, because they want the women, to get the mixed women. Yeah, you're from Portugal, right? Yeah, they want access to the women. That's why when you look at the Drake versus Kendrick, they're going to call Drake a colonizer. He's not like us, right? He got a white mom from Canada. But yeah, you look at Kendrick's wife or fiance, he didn't even marry her, because he cheated on her, she cheated on him. It's a mess, right? But you look at her, I think her name's Whitney. She looks just as mixed as Drake, right? And that's how it is. Like, they'll claim the mixed woman, yeah, because they want to create more bastard kids for Blackistan to keep the engine going, right? To keep the engine going, they need more, illegitimate kids and baby mamas. So yeah, they'll claim the mixed woman, right? But then the guy, it's good for Drake because he's already successful. He has a private jet. He has a white fan base, Asian fan base. He's already set. He doesn't need the blacks. He got what he needed from them. He collaborated with all these blacks to try to boost his profile and street cred. And I already said on this stream, I'm already through over 3 hours deep into this, where it's like he got a good deal out of them. They're trying to act like he used them. Yeah, well, they want to use you as a mixed person. Okay, they're mad because he got the better end of the deal. He could use all these blacks to build his kind of credibility in hip hop. And they're mad, man, because they want to do that to you. See, they're mad when you play the game and you outsmart them, because they're used to basically tricking these mulattoes to try to find a sense of community and punking you and shit. Once you use them, you play their game and you're able to navigate their circles and use them to benefit yourself. See, they have an issue with that, right? She doesn't need the community to be successful. Yeah, Tyla, no, she doesn't. Doja Cat doesn't either. They're trying to pretend as one drop. Doja Cat is super talented. She doesn't need blacks to be successful. No, she's already good. I think maybe Alicia Keys does. She's doing this Tony Award. She got a Tony Award or whatever. She did her Broadway, about Hell's Kitchen musical, whatever. Alicia Keys, but she's already been in the market for over 2 decades, 20 years, and she's good where she's at, right? I use her as an example. I don't use her, but I promote her as a kind of model example of excellence. But she catered all her music to basically a black audience. It's okay. She's already won everything, got all the Grammys and everything. So but it is sex only. They don't want to learn the term. They do a genetic experiment. So Drake has access to foreign pussy. Yeah, right. He's got all the chicks he needs. He's good. That's why Kenny wants to destroy his career. Yeah. Yeah. And what's the worst thing they can say about Drake? That he knocked up some like Instagram model? Yeah. But the man was like sliding in the DMs of like porn stars or whatever. And like the guy has a private jet. He's got millions of dollars. He's a well-known, like the social status he has. Like he can fly to any country around the world, do pretty much whatever he wants in a way. Like, how can little Kenny compete with that? Like, I don't understand. Little Kenny's not on his level. Like, we already went over this. We look at his social media, the Instagram followers. I had someone in the chat that's like, what did that mean? Instagram followers? Really? Like, the reach is just not the same, bro. And with little Kenny, like with YouTube, they're buying bots. That's why we don't call them K-Dot. We call them K-Bots. They got all these. You upload any video that has Kendrick versus Drake or Kendrick, there's a bunch of AI bots. You have all these Kendrick fans typing in their stupid crap in your comment. I got over my last stream. Check out my last stream. I got all these comments. And yeah, that's what they do, man. Because the Kendrick guy, his team, his management, they're buying views and buying like for all like the diss tracks that he did, like Not Like Us and all this other crap, the Euphoria. Yeah, they're buying all these views for his videos. Didn't Drake mention that in one of his diss tracks? There's a certain line, I can pick it up, but he said something about that. But yeah, they're trying to fabricate this. Like they've already decided that they wanted Kendrick to represent the culture because they want to keep black supremacy alive and they want to humble biracials. But good thing for Drake, he already made his money. He made his mark. He already moved around the business enough to where he worked with enough rappers to where he's already set. He's already good. Yeah, I don't care about celebrities or who they date. I don't care. It's not my business. I think they do it for sexual access and to claim accomplishments of mixed people. Yeah, that's it, right? They want sexual access and then they want to claim the accomplishments of mixed people. Exactly. That's it. That's really all it is, right? Thanks, brother. I'm glad to see you as my brother from Cape Town joining in the discussion. We need more of our people to listen to Mulatto Vanguard. Yeah, definitely share the stream. Share the stream for sure. There's a woman out there. I forgot the exact province area she's in, but she works in tourism, colored woman. And yeah, there's a lot of you guys tuning in, listening in. So definitely share the content. I appreciate it. There are literally over Dominican Republic. It's sickening. The passport pookies, right? They want us to be slaves like how white people enslave them. Yeah, basically that's all it is. Yeah, they want to get, because they can't get back to white people, because militarily, just strategically, how white society is organized, they can't do anything to white people, right? So they want to attack us basically to get to white people, because they look at us as they see the white in us. That's why they spread all these Chancellor Williams, black nationalist conspiracy theories, right? Because they're trying to basically attack white people vicariously through us. And it works the other way around too, let's be clear. You have white society that will attack mulattoes to try to get to blacks. So you guys are stuck, even myself included. I say you guys, but to me, we're in an interesting situation, but we do have solutions that can help protect us. This cohesion, this is where it's at. Establishing your tribe, developing parameters, this will be your protection mechanism. The work that Envy is doing for our people is commendable. I got to respect him for supporting us and sticking out his neck for us. Thanks a lot, bro. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I appreciate that kind words. Yeah, let's see what else we got, because I'm already 3 hours, and let me kind of finish some of these comments off. Actually, the reparations should actually be paid by black people. But the thing is, they need you more than you need them. And you don't owe them anything, right? You don't owe them anything. Like, you've already done enough for them. Like, and I know I'm in my mid-30s, millennial guy, where it's like, even I look at, that's why I might be a little bit more feistier, me personally, have some choice words, because I feel like I need a return on my investment. Like, nothing was reciprocated. Like, I literally ruined some relationships out here, like with white, businesses, etc., to try to be down with the blacks. I know I'm not the only one. A lot of you guys have. And that's why for me, it's kind of a sour thing to kind of bite on my tongue, where it's like, I need to get paid back from that, from these in my early 20s, pretending to, falling for that pro whack crap, when I could have just been I wasted time. So there's a little bit of resentment, yeah, in my voice for sure. Have I matured? Yes. But still, I think about that when I talk about this subject matter, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. If anything, they owe me. What the hell? Too many, they owe you, man. I'm just saying, me personally, but they'll try to flip it and be like, oh, you're so privileged in their community. You're so privileged. You got light skin privilege. Fuck out of here, man. Hold on. If reparations does happen, what mixed people get a share as? Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. So the black community owes mulattoes reparations. Throughout history, most black leaders were half colonizer DNA. Yeah, they wouldn't be where they are in America without mulattoes, right? Without W.E.B. Du Bois, without Thurgood Marshall, without Booker T. Washington, without Frederick Douglass, without Adam Clayton Powell. The list goes on and on and on. It's a very long list of these mulattoes, men and women. So yeah, without the help of mulatto intelligence, they'd still be living in filth. Yeah, the crazy thing is, you look at like their kind of standards of living, a lot of them are still living in filth now. You can go to any major city, you can see that, right? Chicago, Detroit, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles. When you go to these areas, you look at their parts of the city, it's kind of the lower end part, right? So that's right. That's why I hope it doesn't go to black people. It really should go to Native Americans and mulattoes. Yeah. Yeah, good point. You're going to have a lot of these FBAs who are going to see this, and they're going to be really mad at me. While History Channel is literally the only channel I have seen speaking for mixed people. Damn, yeah. Yeah, you have a lot of channels who are grifters, and they pretend to be for mixed people, but they're like celebrity gossip channels. Or they're basically like feminist channels or pro. And you look at their channel, they have nothing but black men over there. So how can they be for mixed people when you have mostly black men over there who pretend and lie to be mixed because they want mixed women? Like, but you look at my channel, look at my chat. I'm talking about South African coloreds and Tyla, and I have South African coloreds in my chat, and I have mulatto men and mulatto women in my chat in the conversation. There's nothing out here on the marketplace that's comparable to what I'm doing. The level of authenticity is really astounding. I don't see anything else out here like it. Like, I've had to basically take the mantle and do this type of content. It is what it is. Like, there's nothing out here. There's no competition as far as what I'm doing in my mulatto lane, because I'm seeing these other, like, I've seen these channels, like, and you got fake, you got, AI channels who pretend to be mixed. They'll say like mixed race stories. There's a channel on YouTube. It says like mixed race stories, and it's like an AI channel, but I know it's like a black person that's doing the content, and they're trying to like trick mixed people to think it's like a mixed space or whatever. But it's like, it's black people who you got some of these AI channels that are ran, or even social media pages that are ran by black people pretending to be for mixed people. The thing with me is why I have an advantage. You look at me, you see on my page, you know what you're getting. You look at me, I have the phenotype of a quintessential mulatto. You know what you're getting when you see me. You hear my voice, you watch my material, you already know what time it is. And the whole thing is, I know this is not for everybody. That's good. There's a high level of exclusivity that I embrace, and I want the mulattoes to know this is your shit. This is for you. That's right. The culture may be all of them. I feel not really any other race but black people. Yeah, I don't celebrate Juneteenth either. Juneteenth, who wants to go? There were 3 shootings, black on black, there this weekend. These folks even hate each other. Who wants in that mess? Where was that at? Yeah, I guess just like pick your city, huh? Yeah, they have Juneteenth celebrations, and then there's like shootings and crap. Jesus Christ. It would be but it's the white man's fault that the shootings took place. Remember, it's Drake's fault. It's the mulatto's fault. Remember, it's the white man's fault. Right? That's kind of the basically fallback plan. Just blame the white man, and everyone will forgive you. It would be highly appreciated if the people commenting could show some respect for Tyla. I think that the purpose of this stream is to defend Tyla against attacks from the out of control Bantus. Yeah, I think you're referencing the other gentleman who was basically trying to slander Tyla, saying, "Oh, she's with Gunna, she's with this dark-skinned Bantu," but she's trying to elevate her career. She's a young woman, 22 years old, who's moving strategically, and she's going to position herself to get into a relationship where there's advantages. She's a smart woman. Yeah, so I don't really care who Tyla's dating with or that's not my business. All I care about is that South African colored people have representation on the global stage. And because of that, you have a small time YouTuber like me, an independent voice in this media, social media, where I've seen this and I'm speaking on it, and I'm able to connect with South African colored people in real time. I'm building these connections. This is why this social media, this internet's very powerful tool. But yeah, the main focus is about Tyla representing colored people, being proud to be colored, the identity component. That's the main thing. And that the Afrocentric black supremacists are attacking her because they want her to be a subordinate, as if they want all multiracials, whether you're in America or South Africa or whatever. They want to weaponize the one drop rule. If they see that you have some black in you, they want to attack you because they hate themselves. So they want to attack you to make themselves feel better. I'm not saying all of them, but there's a significant portion of them that we have to basically call a spade a spade. I don't have a choice because I can't live like this, being put in a position where I have to be like begging someone to be cool with their group. I'm not a part of their group. They're not my people. I'm not, I'm good. I'm not from the hood. I'm good. Native and mulatto. Yep. So we're kind of winding down, guys. I'm going to just finish off some more comments, try to get through it as much as I can. Appreciate you guys being here, but we are going late here. We got 0.6 Native American according to 23andMe. I won't claim such small admixes unlike black Americans. Yeah, right. That's funny. The Black Americans, a lot of them, they'll find out that they're 2%. I swear to God, I know a lady, you know, um, it's funny because, people saw me with Dr. Umar Johnson. 2016, I met Umar. I was at a conscious event in Long Beach. Umar was there, and I referred an older Black lady in the area, one of the communities I was in, and she went there to the event with me. But this lady, I remember she had she was so proud to share with me one day. She did her DNA test that she was 2% Native American. And she literally, with a straight face, was telling me how proud she was that she found out in her DNA that she had Native American blood, because she wanted to draw onto that Native ancestry. I knew right away something was fucked up with her and her self-esteem, her psyche. Something was not right. And I think this was 2016 or maybe 27. No, I went to that event 2016. This is probably 2017 or 2018, when this same woman who I thought was pro-Black, whatever, I was like, okay, she's proud to be Black, when she shared her DNA results, and she was so proud of her 2%, or literally that small percentage, 1% Native blood, because now she felt like she could claim Native American now because it was 2%. I knew something was wrong with her. Like, she hated herself. Like, why are you so fixated on such a small percentage? You don't know the culture, the Native culture. You just want to claim that 2% because you hate being Black. So I realized that pro-Black shit is so fake. Like, they hate being Black so much, they want to pretend to everyone else and wear their Blackness on their sleeve more than damn whites wear their whiteness on their sleeve. Like, they want to be so proud to be Black. But then when you peel back the layers, you realize, oh, they really hate themselves. Like, look at Kendrick Lamar. He's the Black Messiah. He's so pro-Black, but he's married to a mixed woman. He goes to Denmark, gets with a white woman, and hates on the mixed man for being mixed. We're like, well, wait a second. Something's not adding up here. Exotical channels are all about their nails, features against dark-skinned Black women. Yeah, they're both competing for Black men. Yeah, we should all kind of understand that. Chrissy and Exoticals and the biracial baby mamas, they're all competing for the black male gaze. The black male gaze. Gaze, spelled Gaze, meaning basically the attention of Black males. Okay. That's what they're competing for, right? And the dark-skinned, unambiguous Black women are jealous because the mixed women get more attention from Black males, right? So they're all just competing with each other for who can get the Black male attention. 35% Native, 50% Black, 50% white. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Run a casino, huh? That casino business, right? In California, they have a large market. Those Indian casinos. Tyla is not dating that Gunna fella. She was interviewed after she won the Grammy, and that made it clear that she is single. Let her use the Bantus as a stepping. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I look at it. That's why I didn't want to review a lot of those comments, because I don't really care if she's with the guy or what that's not even my business. But I don't know why some of these guys try to make it like this whole dating stuff about who these women are doing. Like, it's not my business. This is a businesswoman who's very successful. She's going to do what she's going to do to advance herself, and she'll learn along the way. She's young. It's all about her being proud to be colored. That's what this stream is about. And repping colored people, because I want to see more representation for them. Ghana, Angola, Portuguese Guinea. Interesting. Yeah. Cool. Going over percentages, just going to kind of scroll through some of these comments a little bit more. And then thanks again, MV, for being a voice and an ally. MV, full respect. Appreciate you, man. Hopefully one of these days you can hop on the panel. I'd like to have you on the panel. That'd be a good thing. I heard the Mexican cartel smuggle drugs into reservations. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, they do smuggle drugs into other areas, not just reservations, but that's a big problem. That's one of the main kind of arguments to promote the border wall for the Trump administration was with the whole drug, like the fentanyl and the drug traffic situation. I got to be careful saying that stuff on YouTube, but that's yeah, there's a problem with that with the all that stuff, right? She gets a barbecue pass. What does she really get as a prize? The woke mixed people are the worst. They're going to be your biggest opposition because they're trying to serve black people for acceptance. Can you do a series on raising mixed kids from biracial perspective? My kids will be mixed and I want to learn. I don't have any kids. Okay. And it's funny because some people will make you seem how should I say this? There's people who are irresponsible or they're like baby mamas. They have like multiple like failed relationships with multiple men. So they'll have a bunch of illegitimate kids, and you'll have some of these individuals, a couple of them, they'll literally look at a guy like me that's doesn't have any children, okay, zero debt, college educated, right? Like they'll look at a guy like me and be like, oh, well, he's a loser. He doesn't have any baby mamas or something like that. It's like, okay, I'm just a normal guy that's living my life, traveling, debt free, have no kids. I'm good. But I don't have any kids. That's the point. So I would suggest you to have to look in for other content creators that have kids. I don't specifically do that type of content. My content is geared directly, mainly it's for adults. I'm a man. I have a lot of women who love and support my content, mixed women especially. But I try to do the best I can to create balance and to give the mulatto representation. But I'm a man, so I'm the male perspective. But yeah, this is primarily it's adult conversations that I have here. So I don't have any kids, so I couldn't really tell you like any advice or a formula on how to raise them. I think that if those are your children, I think the best thing for you to do is to just listen to some of my stories, my examples, to get a better glimpse if you can stomach it, because I might hurt some feelings. So if you can stomach listening to the content, to learn from some experiences, and the best goal, the advice is to create a balance. Okay, create a balance, meaning taking both parts of their culture that their parents have and instilling that in your children. Because I feel like a lot of mixed kids, they are missing that balance where they only have one element of their culture being passed down to them. Now, some people will say that's the case with me. They'll say, "Oh, you don't like being half black. You represent white cultures." Like, really, what element? It's how you talk. You're very vulgar. In a lot of cases, I have to be vulgar. I have to get the point across, right? That's how I see it. But I think a lot of mixed people are not balanced. There's a lot who are, trust me, and I feel like those are the ones who are going to navigate to what I'm doing over here, and that's why you're here. Essentially, you're asking a question. So the balance is crucial, and I'll just leave it at that. Just ask around, and yeah, you can email me if you want to, because I'm gonna kind of close this live stream. I've been doing like 3 hours, almost 4 hours now, so I'm kind of tired. That's why I'm giving you kind of a vague response, but you can email me, mulattovanguard@gmail.com, and ask me whatever questions you have. I'm on Facebook as well and Instagram, same handle. So if you have questions, just go over there and message me, and then we could talk. So yeah, guys, like I said, it's almost 4 hours. I'm gonna kind of close this out. Black men were motivated to get a passport to avoid black women. I don't get it either because like there's so many attractive black women. I just don't get it. I thought about that the other day as well. It's like if they don't want the black women, like there's other men are gonna get those women that they want, the feminine, attractive, like it's an open marketplace. My number one thing with any woman, I would say the number one thing, the baggage, is if you have another man's kids and then you come looking at me, it's just like, oh, you got another man's kids. Like, I don't care what like race, if you're mixed race or white or black or whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a black woman and you don't have another guy's kids, you're on a marketplace, like they have a lot of options. If as long as they're feminine, they have manners, they're good hygiene, like no one cares about their degree like that. I mean, I like women who are educated, okay, but don't put that as number one and try to flex that shit. Flex your femininity and the fact that you're in shape and you have an active lifestyle. I mean, those are the chicks that like I follow, whatever, on social media, or I pay attention to, I should say, are those type of like black women where they're flexing their kind of active lifestyle or their femininity. Yeah. But don't flex your degree. I'm not flexing my degree. I don't have, the most exquisite degree either to flex, but like, yeah, if you don't have a kid, like if you're a woman, you don't have any kids, like I feel like you have all the options. Same with the guys. I mean, the guys, if you're just in shape, you're improving yourself, making your money, you have a purpose, you're living up to your purpose, you have options. I don't. But for me as a guy, I'll just say this before I move on. It's just, yeah, the number one like red flag for me to avoid, regardless of the woman's race, is if she has kids by another man and she's on the marketplace looking to get in a relationship. I'm just looking at her like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you have a kid by this guy, go back to that guy and work it out. Make sure that kid has a home, a two-parent household. But they're looking at you. Like, we see that on the marketplace. Like, this single motherhood shit has been so normalized in this society where it's like, I don't think any man who listens to me is gonna sign up for like a single parent. Like, I don't know what else is there to say. Dark skinned Bantus in America need serious therapy. They hate Tyla not because of the word colored. They hate her because of her looks and talent. Exactly. Yeah. She's an attractive woman. She's talented and she doesn't identify with them. Where she honors her Zulu, her black heritage, but she doesn't identify with black Americans. And I'm half black American. I don't identify with black Americans. So you can imagine the type of hate they'll have towards me, right? Sometimes, at least in Western settings, I feel others are afraid to identify as biracial, as mixed, because of the self-hating biracials that only claim black. I feel people know very well who's mixed. Yeah, they do. And they have like the pretendians. Oh, look at this. What did you put? Becky's hybrids are so angry. Oh, that's nice.
You dare mock me, ape.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Nobody cares. You have no influence over here. Attention from the easiest man and woman is laughable. Does anyone else have full black men stare you down in public? Happens to me all the time. Simple mind, are you a man or a woman? I'd like to know. They sleep with each other if the other man has big A. Who wants scraps? If only women realize that attention from dark-skinned black men is so embarrassing. In the word, excuse me, apologize. If the word colored was so offensive to them, why did they not boycott the movie For Colored Girls? It's not nothing to do with the word. It's not the word. Yeah, don't let these blacks in America fool you. It's not the word. Just like in America, I'm trying to tell you, that's why I connect with colors, because the word mulatto, they're not offended by the word mulatto. What they're offended by is that mixed people that have like African heritage, but other heritage as well, that we will not identify with them. So they can't use us because they want you to be a minority in their group amongst them. They want to exhibit power and influence over you. That's what they're offended by. It's not the word, because they call themselves people of color. You'll have all these blacks in America talk about the word colored. It sounds archaic and it's like apartheid. Yeah, they'll say that, but the same black, they'll turn around and call themselves people of color. You guys see the hypocrisy there? They'll identify themselves as people of color, a black woman, whatever, but then they're mad that South Africans like Tyla are calling themselves colored. It's because you're not going to identify with them, and they're very upset about that because they realize that most of the world doesn't identify with them because they haven't developed. All they have is like the entertainment stuff, right? The music, culture, the art, maybe some of the sports athletes, whatever. But other cultures are developing actual systems that keeps civilization running in a sense with the technology, infrastructure, right? Medicine, and they're not competing on that global stage like that, right? So in that sense, this is why they have an issue with you not identifying with them. They feel like they're losing something, so they're offended that you don't want to beg them to be a part of their tribe. But what it is they want to be able to outgroup you. They want to be able to tell you that you're not black, you're not like us. They don't want you to tell them that you're not like them. That's how they are. Once you figure it out, you realize this is what it is. Okay. Yeah, 4 hours deep. I got to get going here. If the word colored is so offensive, why is no one, yeah, like I said, why is no one boycotting the NAACP? Yeah, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Yeah, because like I said, the liberals and mainly the black liberals, they'll call themselves people of color. I don't really hear the black people on the right, conservative side, because the people of color, that's definitely academic jargon. So it's definitely liberal language. Because like I said, I say black women because they're like, the most educated, the most college degrees, right? Which is true. They hold a lot of degrees. And these black women, they'll call themselves colored women, people of color, but then they'll turn around and be like black. Like it's like interchangeable to them. A colored woman, a person of color, or a black woman. It's like interchangeable. But when they see like a real colored person from that title, like a South African colored, then they want to act all like kind of, funny. It's because you're not going to identify with them. Um, yep. Yep. And I think you put here, it's all basically, yeah, the hypocrisy is out of this world. Yeah, you got it. I remember hearing a Latina address an Asian woman as Chinita. The Asian lady wasn't offended at all because she spoke Spanish and she knew the culture. Race isn't offensive everywhere. Interesting. Yeah. They procreate with mulatto women in order to attach the mulatto men to the black community and make us subordinate because they are in our image. Interesting. Good point. Bruno is true. I used to have a gay, dark-skinned black man friend when I was younger. When we'd go out, black men would stare at his A even when they were with their wife and kids. That's gross. Yes, it's true, KMC. I used to date this light-skinned Creole woman from Cape Verde. The Bantus was hating on me. Same when I was with dark-skinned black women. They also always looking for any excuse to hate Tyla. Some even find fault with some of the lyrics in her songs, which has literally nothing to do with them and doesn't even refer to them. Yeah, the hate's real. The hate's real out here. Man, I got so many comments, guys. We're already at the 4 hour mark. I can't read them all, guys. I can't read them all. I wish I could, but if I would have did a stream earlier in the day, because I'm looking at all you guys are lit in the chat, and I love it, man. I love it. I'm gonna go back and rewatch the live stream and just and check out what you guys are putting, because I can't read all the comments, guys. I'm sorry, man. I gotta go to bed. I gotta wake up and do what I do, man. But I really appreciate you guys, your engagement over here, supporting me out, adding to this discussion. I'm here to serve you guys. This is all for you. I want people to feel like they have a community, they belong somewhere, and we have that now. Just the whole goal now is to spread awareness and to look at it grow. So Simple Mind is a dude and says our people are mostly the same everywhere. It's maybe just the accent and some slight differences in dialect and diet, nuances for sure, but essentially we're all the same. Yeah, and all this, what it is as well, is because the positioning of us with this kind of binary nature, with like the black and white, the kind of major differences. I feel like that's what kind of binds our kind of unique struggle, so to speak. We see this kind of racial dichotomy, this binary nature with the black and white, and we're kind of in the middle for all intents and purposes. Okay. And we have solutions. I feel like we're definitely on the right track, and we're doing good. And I really appreciate you guys being here tonight. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna take off now. 4 hours, okay. But I love you guys. I really appreciate your guys' input. Please continue to contribute to the discussion. Like the video, share the video, post a comment, let people know we're here talking, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. So peace.